Hello, everybody. It's the October Community Showcase. I'm joined by Michael Huber, who's pumped. What is that? Is that Raven Software? What is that? Did they make Spider-Man
No,
games?
it's
Who is that?
Daybreak. Quentin Cobb worked there, so he hooked me
Oh,
up.
that's right.
Yep.
Daybreak.
Quentin Cobb, shout out.
It's kind of got the eye from like the Raven Software. It reminds me of
Totally.
it.
Or Neversoft, maybe you're thinking of.
Sure. Is that the nail through the eye?
Yeah.
Some Tony Hawk action. What's up? I'm Brandon Jones. This is Michael Huber over here. This is the Easy Allies Community Showcase. This is our $10 and above tier on patreon.com/easyallies, where you can go to support the allies. And specifically at that tier, once a month, we have a community showcase, and we offer up the opportunity for members of our community at that tier and above to submit comments for us to discuss. We have a special guest every single month, so I'm joined by Huber. Just happens to be how that pans out on the list, but it is also October, and I love to talk. And you might think that all this spooky October Halloween conversation happening this month is just like on top of all the stuff that we haven't. Huber's over there playing Hades, man, and Mafia, dude, and I'm over here playing Avengers and Animal Crossing. We don't got time to talk about stuff. We haven't shared really in the joy. The joy begins right now, and we have some joyful posts, some wonderful pieces of music to listen to, some really great Castlevania riff coming up, some spooky lore to drop in Animal Crossing. We got some good stuff, but people can submit comments, they can submit photographs, screenshots, drawings. We have 2 pieces of voiceover from our lovely community, music that they have written, and videos. There is all of the word count and TRT and all of that stuff is in the post. We put up it every month. So if you want to be a part of it, just $10 and above tier. And then at the end of the month, I'll put up the post. So this post just went up about a week ago for people to let us know what happened to them in September, what they were looking forward to in October. We're going to kick it off and probably spend about an hour or 2 looking at comments. I got thrown off because I checked last night and I was like, what happened to the showcase, man? Just nobody showed up for the showcase this month. Patreon was just not showing me these comments. Then I got up this morning. I'm like, oh, there's the other 75 comments that I have to grab media from. So starting a little bit late today, but let's get into it. Actually, let's start with the coffee. Got a little bit of the coffee left.
Excellent. Gulp it down.
Yep. We got Avengers talk coming up. This is a good meaty Michael Huber showcase. I'm excited about this. Master Pants kick. Oh, and the order might be a little backwards because apologies if you were like, I was the first comment. It's just everything's backwards this month. Master Pants, hi Easy Allies, writing from my phone because some heckin' farming equipment ripped down our cable wire from the road in the middle of the night. Farm equipment cutting you off from the world.
Jeez.
First, I have a hidden. See, if Master Pants knows that it was farming equipment, I wonder if Master Pants knows who it was. I wonder if that's how. I wonder if they know. I wonder if like the community's that small where they're just like, Lawrence.
Yep.
Again?
It was the neighbor.
First, I have a hidden gem recommendation called Orange Blood. It's a pixel art turn-based JRPG with guns and foul-mouthed anime characters set in a Neo-Japan style future. What's really cool is it uses an equipment system straight out of Borderlands. So all the gear has slight modifiers, special effects, flavor text, and rarity based on color. It's really interesting when combined with turn-based combat. It has amazing simulated fighting using some overlays and effects to make it look nicer than your average pixel art game. There's a lot of cool indie idle animations, like if you get food, you can take your tray to a table and eat it or sit at a bar for a drink, plus way more. The story and progression doesn't seem like it's going to be epic or anything, but that's the limitation of it being $20. It just came out on consoles if anyone wants to check it out. Second, that's Orange Blood. Interesting. Second,
cool.
Since October, I have a tale of the paranormal kind to share. Yes. We have photographs, thanks to Tokyo Slim, photographs of famous haunted locations to look at later. And yeah, it's because just empty hallways. Woohoo! That's the stuff. I have a tale of the paranormal kind to share. Back around 2010, my brother and sister both brought motorcycles. One day, they went riding together out in the country with no destination in mind. After a long time riding, they stopped at a T-shaped intersection to try and find their way back home. As they came to a stop, both bikes had their engines die. Not something abnormal, but a little weird for both to do it at the same time. They decided to turn down the side road in the direction of home, but eventually it led to a farm, and they had to turn back to the intersection. They stopped again to talk. This time their engines stayed on, and while they noticed something strange, In the yard of the house across the street was a tree with a tire swing. They tell me the tire was swinging around in a big circle with nobody around and no wind strong enough. Of course, they weren't over there, but anyway, enough to make it move like that. Freaked out, they said, let's get the hell out of here, and continued down the main road, eventually making it back home. Yes, it was a happy ending for them, but who knows what will happen to others who stop there. How scary does an event have to be to frighten someone on a motorcycle in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Like,
And to remember those details.
Wouldn't you be the most not afraid when you're just on a hog, like daylight, you know?
Yeah.
Wearing leather.
Freaks me out, man.
We had, Hubert, one time for Amanda's birthday, you know, like over a decade ago, we had a bunch of people over to the house and we set up a bunch of fold-out tables in the living room. So we were all seated at this like giant table setup. And then we were done eating dinner and we like played some games, like party games and stuff. And then just like one person told a scary story and then like another person told a scary story. And some of them were true and some of them were like stories that they had heard. And like just hearing that stuff for like an hour, it didn't matter what anybody said at that point. Like we were all so, our nerves were so frayed. That like one guy was like, I saw purple lightning once, and I was like, you what? Like it like didn't matter what people said. It just you get in that mood.
Ready to be scared.
You watched back-to-back horror before. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, middle of the night. You're vulnerable.
You watched the one movie that preps you for the next movie.
Yep.
Jason Asackle. I don't think I've played any games that I don't think I played any games that I didn't enjoy throughout all of September. If I did, then I'm successfully blocking them out of my memory. But I don't think that I am that talented. At the beginning of the month was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Simply, it is just a lot of fun and an addicting game. It brought back lots of fun memories as well as passing around the controller with my friends. I unlocked and watched the videos for all the skaters. It was a bit monotonous to collect the stat points for each individualized skater, but if you're going through the hassle for any, do it for Bob Burnquist. His video is crazy and pretty much blows all the other ones out of the water. Anywho, the game has successfully reignited my interest in the series, and I would love to see the levels of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 get the same treatment. Something's going to happen with everything that happened to Crash. I mean, it's, I imagine Tony's going to hopefully get the same treatment. I also played all the games in Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. It is amazing how much useless stuff I remember. I constantly knew where to go to get a star or blue coin. I was able to breeze through it all. Sunshine still remains my favorite of the three.
Thanks.
I think I just dig the vibes of that game. However, the game I enjoyed the most last month was, of course, Mario's Super Picross. Loving that game, Picross is always a good time. Can't get enough of it. Lastly, Next Gen is coming. I saw that some GameStop stores had started pre-orders shortly after the stream was announced, shortly after the stream that announced the date and price. I called to see if my local if my local one was, no answer, wasn't shocked, waited for an hour and decided to drive over. My main curiosity was how they were dealing with customers, and I saw that they were actually doing a decent job. Everyone outside the store was spread out. They didn't let people in immediately after someone else left. I put on my mask and figured, why not? Eventually, when it was my turn, I asked if they were doing pre-orders. They said they were, and they only had one pre-order left. Nabbed it. Fun
nice.
note, I asked if they thought they would receive enough to fill all pre-orders. The reply was that the earlier I got there, the better. I'm looking forward to the Miles Morales game. I think the recent thing about the face change for Peter Parker is fine. If it helps me, it's so funny. That's such a fun thing for Jason Sackle to be like, whatever. It helps. If it makes things easier in the future, great, cool, whatever. Being honest, when I saw that trailer for Spider-Man Remaster, I didn't even notice they changed the face. Honestly, I can't tell who that's more offensive, which actor. Honestly, I couldn't remember the original face for the life of me. Not that big of a deal. I don't have to work on the game or deal with any of the intricacies of putting all that together, so I have no stake in it. I just consume games and appreciate all the hard work people put into it.
Love that.
Yeah, that was like my feeling.
That perspective.
That was my feeling at the end of the day. It's just that like they so clearly made this decision because they had to. They wouldn't do this to themselves.
No.
After all the success, like just shoot themselves in the foot and be like, nah, start over.
The cheekbones, man. You were telling me the cheekbones.
Yeah. But it's I think the reason the story sticks with me too is it's like it has very little to do with Spider-Man actually. Like there's nothing about the character that means that the bones have to be the same. Like this is true of just anybody. And so it's just weird that like you would have a character this famous that's like, imagine if Aloy was just like a different person. It'd be so weird.
That would be really weird, Jones.
So strange it hasn't happened to other things. I wonder like how that it's interesting to look at. I'm always fascinated when an actor, because the Ellie voice actor kind of looks like Ellie. Not really. Kind of. You know, you can see like a little bit there. So it's interesting to see these like weird. It's its own uncanny valley. These people just being squished into a digital space, and like some weird version of them comes out. You'll see a digital version of yourself later. There's a character later in drawings that, like, as far as I'm concerned, was not intended to be Huber, but just every image is like, it's the Huber show.
Nice.
Yo, what's up, Huber and Jones? Happy Halloween. I've been preparing my Animal Crossing island for the festivities since Jones visited the island hop. During the island hop, it's starting to look nice and spooky. You know what else is kind of jolly and spooky? Demon Slayer. It's time for an anime recommendation, so buckle up. I've been obsessed with this show ever since the first season of the anime ended last September. Then at the end of 2019, Demon Slayer actually managed to topple One Piece's 12-year reign as the best-selling manga of the year.
Wow.
Now, I've been reading the manga by Koyoharu Gorage, who I recently found out is a woman, by the way, and anticipating the movie set out to come out later this month. So, what is the show about? Well, the story revolves around these demons called Oni, and although they take their name from the Japanese yokai, they are much more similar to vampires. They can't be out in the sun or be killed by conventional swords. One interesting aspect is that these Oni are created from humans, and the main character is sympathetic to their tragic transformations. The show is animated by Ufotable, and they did an amazing job bringing the manga to life. It has a good blend of comedy, cute characters, and pretty brutal fight scenes with buckets of blood and dozens of decapitations.
Love decapitations.
Sometimes it's actually kind of shocking. I think the big part of the show's boost in popularity is the wide range of audiences it covers. My young students here in Taiwan are all obsessed with the characters, even though most of them are too young to watch the anime. The 7 and 8-year-old girls and boys are all buying school supplies plastered with the charming characters, but the high school kids are into it because the show itself is mature enough that it appeals to them too. I haven't really seen any other anime cross through all my different classes like this. The little boys are imitating the swordsman, and the girls are all asking me which character I think is the cutest. Everybody seems to have a different favorite among the colorful cast of characters. Anyway, I expect you guys are going to see a lot more of Demon Slayer as it slowly gets translated and emerges in the US. I've intentionally avoided talking about any of the plot, so go check it out for yourselves. After the first episode, I think you will know if you are sold on it or not, and knowing that the manga has already completed in a pretty short run means that you can expect a concise story that doesn't drag on for years. We'll see. Yeah. Check it out. Have a happy Halloween, guys. Looking forward to a possible Halloween Animal Crossing stream. If you're up for it, Jones, love and respect, Ian at Alexander_arts.
Nice. I would love to watch that, but I'm just so behind on anime, Jones. I got Avatar, I got Korra, I got Vinland Saga, I got Boruto, I got Superman the animated series I'm going through.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm in the trenches, man.
I hear you. It's like Star Wars Squadron snuck up on me. People are like doing impressions. I'm like, oh, they're checking out early, and it's like, no, you buy it right now. I'm like, I don't have time. Star Wars game right now?
No.
Nope. XWF Outlaw. Hello, Jones, Huber, and chat. 2 months ago, I began my logging adventures and my deep, dark dissension of becoming a quarantine weeb and shared my exploits with Brandon, Anime Books Jones, and Benzilla himself, Mr. Ben Moore, and the anime train still hasn't reached the station or no plans of stopping. By the way, I was very happy to hear from you, Jones, that you and Amanda are both hooked on My Hero Academia. Now to show, actually done. Amanda's done. Like real depression for Amanda. I didn't see all the episodes, but she like hit that wall and was just like, She's been watching My Witch Academia and is not too into it. You would think that was like, as a Hogwarts fan, and cartoons and everything, you would think it would just be like completely right up her alley. And she's like, it's taking a little bit to get into. But it's the weird thing about shows. You never know. What shit is not anime, but you know what show I'm watching right now, Huber? You know it's season 4. I just finished. On to season 5 now.
Shield?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., baby.
Dude, shut up.
That's season 4.
Dude, right?
Good.
Ghost Rider, dude? Come on,
Ghost Rider was pretty good, but the stuff at the end...
framework?
That is the darkest, deepest depths of S.H.I.E.L.D. without a doubt.
Yes.
That show hits lows. I was like, wow. Like, there's like scenes of characters just beaten like,
yes.
Where do they go from here? It's good. Season 4 is really good. I dare say you can even jump in. You can even like read a wiki and just kind of jump into 4. Like they're fun nods, but I was like, man, am I going to be behind? It's been a long time since I've seen this, and like,
yeah,
loved it.
Dude,
fun.
So hype, Jones, yes.
By the way, sorry. Now, to show off the list of anime I've watched these last 2 months. To start, here's an update on the ongoing episodes from the last showcase that I've since completed. Note, anime listed as dub and sub are their each separate episode count. Example, 25 episodes, sub and dub equals 50 total episodes. Here we go. Number 1, Space Dandy. 8 new episodes, 26 episodes total, dub. Number 2, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. 8 new episodes, 12 episodes total, sub. 3, Haikyuu. 34 new episodes, 74 episodes total, sub and dub. Still ongoing with the second tour of Season 4 starting this past week. Now, here are the new shows I've started or completed afterwards, so potentially add these to your list, Huber. Number 1, Anohana, The Flower We Saw That Day. 5 episodes, sub and dub, ongoing. The Flower We Saw That Day is just a thing that no one in America would name anything. It's like there's something about anime titles that are just so very specific.
I like that title, too.
I love it. No, I love it. They make me wonder what the movie is about, and so many American titles just are so dull. Danmachi, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? You know what I mean? 26 episodes plus Arrow of the Orion movie, dub, ongoing. Asobi Asobase or Asobasi, 12 episodes, sub. 4 BNA, 12 episodes, sub. Number 5, Daily Lives of High School Boys, 12 episodes, sub. Number 6, Dr. Stone, 24 episodes, sub and dub. 7, Junjo Romantica, 17 episodes, sub, ongoing. 8, Parasite with a Y, The Maxim, 24 episodes, sub and dub. I highly recommend this to Huber. Is a perfect October binge horror anime. Parasite with a Y.
Parasite, I think I've heard of that one.
The Maxim. Number 9, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, 13 episodes, plus OVA, sub and dub. Number 10, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. I'm familiar with that one. 24 episodes, sub and dub. 11, Yuri on Ice. 12 episodes, dub. 12, Grand Blue Dreaming, 7 episodes, sub, ongoing. 13, Rent a Girlfriend, 6 episodes, sub and dub, ongoing. 14, Noragami, 10 episodes, sub and dub, ongoing. 15, Plastic Memories, 8 episodes, sub, ongoing. 16, Given, lowercase, one word, regular spelling, Given. 11 episodes, sub. And finally, the last on my list is an anime that will for sure not show up on anyone's top anime of 2019, but I want to give it my version of a don't skip to this misinterpreted series, Domestic Girlfriend, 12 episodes, sub and dub. To summarize the show within the word limit I have left would be a disservice, but I would call it one of the most unintentionally hilarious, most baffling, glorious trash fires of a show I've ever seen. These are all genuinely positive remarks. This is the Tommy Wiseau's The Room of anime. The less you know about the plot, the better, but as a tease for next month's showcase with Ian Hank, I will have a spoiler-filled abridged review of Domestic Girlfriend to submit. That's all for now. Have a wonderful October, everyone, and please stay safe this Halloween. Stay spooky. X. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. I ain't watching any of those animes. I am down for a horror anime, though.
Parasite sounds sick.
Bearded Scotsman 86. Hey, Brandon and the other ally. This is going to be my final post for a while. Had to drop my patronage due to my financial situation. This month, I decided to jump into PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds after getting it on PS Plus. Oh, I got to get those PS Plus games. There's some Vampire, which I have the disc of, but it's like, hey, you know.
With patches, it's probably a 7 now.
Yeah. I've been enjoying my time with it as a trophy hunter. It's a bit frustrating. Since the game launched on PS4 almost 2 years ago, it has glitchy trophies that don't always unlock when they should.
Oh, it's the worst.
Brutal. The devs keep claiming they are working on it, but no fix has been produced yet. Even though the last 2 patches have had trophy fixes mentioned in the notes, after further investigation, I found a post from someone who spoke with the devs, and it turns out they had to remove the fix from the patch. My worst so far was not getting the 10 wins trophy. I had to get 17 wins before I got the trophy for my 10th win. I also spent time finishing off the platinums in Guacamelee 2 and Stranger Things 3 the game. Both were a lot of fun. Oh, Stranger Things 3 the game would be a fun one to play this month.
Really good game, Jones.
No spoilers, you know, like I loved season 3.
Jones, you should play it with Amanda. I'm not kidding around. That game is sick.
My final platinum for the month was Murdered Soul Suspect.
Dude, yes. Oh my
It is a very easy platinum if you follow a guide for all the collectibles. Around 170 collectibles needed, which is basically most of the time I spent on the game. It does at least have an enjoyable story, though. I just wanted to say a thank you for the great content over the years. Although I won't be contributing money for now, I will still continue to enjoy the podcasts and the occasional stream. I very much enjoyed the Among Us stream. There is a similar game called Deceit, which is free to play on Steam. It is much more horror themed though. I don't know. Among Us is pretty horrifying. Needs 6 players, 2 are monsters, and you have to try to figure out who the monsters are or complete the objectives. If you are monsters, then you must drink blood hidden around the level and then try to take out the other players when darkness comes. The game uses voice communication so you can talk to each other and call out who you think the monsters are. The monsters have a second voice channel to communicate with each other and plan out a strategy. The in-game communication is great. When someone dies, they automatically get cut off from the main chat and put in a separate channel to talk to other dead players. I think it would make a very entertaining stream someday. Obviously, your decision though. Love and respect to Bearded Scotsman 86. The trick is when you play it, it works, but can you stream that? You know, it's like if you can hear who, depending on how the game audio is set up, it's like that's a whole nother thing when you bring in that these other people need to hear whoever. It's a tricky game.
Shout out to Guacamelee 2 for being one of the greatest platformers of all time.
Nice.
Not kidding around, not being hyperbolic. That game is so good.
It keeps coming up and you keep saying that, and it's very difficult because I didn't play Guacamelee 1 and 2. An outside observer, Guacamelee 2 looks a lot like Guacamelee 1. Not saying that it's not good, but it just is one of those things that every time it comes to the conversation, someone's like, can we just talk about, please, Guacamelee 2?
Yeah, so good.
Ibrahim Sozer talking about that bug snacks. We're not talking about bug snacks at all. But apparently, just beeped.
You good?
Man, and I call it the Monitor. Low battery.
Monitor.
I had it out here last night. Did I tell you? I don't know if I'll share this scary story now that I got the monitor. And I think I've told this to you, Huber, that very early on, right around the time he started putting like sounds together, I had the monitor out here. And I came out, and sometimes he'll be like awake for 10 minutes, and he'll just like stare at the ceiling, and he won't say anything. And then all of a sudden he'll just be like, bah, 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 and you're like, whoa, he was up. I didn't know he was awake. And it was, I think the monitor was like closer to where he was, or maybe his head was turned toward like that part of the crib, and he just went, dad, like into the monitor. And I was like editing, and I'm like, what? He's like, dad. He was just making noise. Like he wasn't saying to me, he didn't know I could hear him through the monitor. Yeah. But I was like, and I know everybody's like, oh, that's so cute. At 2 a.m? Like, it's terrifying, man.
Kind of freaky, yeah.
He's calling me out.
I get it.
Dad. I also made the joke that somebody should play audio when like a ghost or something when I'm at the studio, because I'm sad that the studio's not haunted. It's like nothing's ever really happened.
Yeah.
And Blood played Lisa when I was there.
Bloodworth, dude.
So I'm
nice.
like walking around the hall, because the alarm goes, or the sends him an email, like that somebody's, the camera went off, and so I'm just like walking. I'm like in one room, and I just hear like, and I'm like, what the hell?
That's so good.
It was like right after Milo was born too, and it was right after Milo was born, and he was playing like baby crying too, and I was like, that's not. But I was proud of him. I thought it was could have sworn it was Ian. I actually messaged Ian, and I was like, haha. And Ian was like, what? Didn't do anything. It's Bloodworth. Dad. That creepy kid. He would be so innocent. You would wake up Milo from a nap, and he'd be like, in bed, like, what? Oh, he'd wake up. And now he just gets up before you even go into the room. So you like open the door, and he's just like standing up at the end of the crib, like, I'm waiting. I've been awake for 4 minutes. What have you been doing? Like, I heard you. I'm just sorry. I was exporting a video. Daddy's got to work. Lisa from PT, yes. Not to be confused with Lisa from Resident Evil, who we will talk about before this community showcase is over. That Kleenex is really far away. There's no Kleenex in this room. Maybe it's a paper towel he's got to go to the kitchen and get. Maybe he's like trying to find it. Maybe he thought he knew where the Kleenex was. And now he's just kind of running around the house trying to find it. So I got my hanky right here, ready to go. He's back.
Sorry, I gotta wash my hands too. It's a process.
Morgan Mulhalla. Hello, Jones and Huber. For my community showcase post, I would like to have Brandon interview the guest, talk show style, with an assortment of broad-ranging questions related to life and video games. There's a list of 10. Please pick 5 that you would like, and feel free to skip and replace any unsavory or outlandish questions with a different question from the list. Love and respect, Morgan Mulhalla. I've decided on questions number 1, 2, 4, and 9. Question number 1. Besides games, movies, anime, and bonds, what do you get hyped about? You can't mention games, movies, anime, or bonds.
Dodgers.
Yay! Just leaving it at that.
Yeah. Dodgers.
Number 2, are you aware of a 2015 game called Blues and Bullets?
No.
Blues and Bullets. If so, what is your impression? If not, could I convince you to please watch the trailer at some point?
Wait,
Blues and Bullets.
No. Yeah, never heard of it.
Blues and Bullets, Huber.
Blues and Bullets. It looks cool.
What's happening in the trailer?
No, I'm just looking at the poster, and it's like a detective.
Okay.
Looking like Saboteur.
Nice. Okay.
It's got a Saboteur vibe to it. Announced trailer. Watching, scrubbing through. Serial killer saga.
Serial killer saga.
Surprisingly great noir game, says Kotaku.
All right.
Surprisingly great is my most. It offends me when people write that.
Oh, because if you're the dev, you're like, oh, so you assumed it would be bad?
Exactly.
Something about my work.
Yep.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
This game looks pretty cool. It looks janky, but cool.
So if I get a note from some of the podcast who's like, I could listen to this, I'd be like,
cool.
I'll file that into a compliment, maybe. Number
Blues and
4,
Bullets.
you had mentioned your background in journalism. What was your favorite project as a journalist?
Oh my God. The transportation system in San Francisco. So much fun. 10 out of 10.
Just interviewing people about...
interviewing people about the buses,
Wow.
the munis. I would go to like town hall meetings and interview people there. Just so much fun. 10 out of 10. You do it for like 2 years. You do the class or 2 semesters. I mean, it's like your beat. It's like your journalism beat. And when it was over, the head of the journalist department of SF State had me come and like talk to the new people, and then also like hand off my contacts.
Show 'em how it's done.
Yeah, I like groomed the next transportation person because I covered it so well. Boom. It's awesome. So fun.
Wow.
Loved it.
Yeah, I've never, ever been interested in being any sort of a news gathering investigative journalist whatsoever. But damn, I love watching them in like movies and stuff, you know, and like All the President's Men and like what won with Michael Keaton? What won the best picture?
Spotlight,
man.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo in that movie. I'm just glued just every minute. It's the kind of movie where like it's over and then you're like, was that even a movie? I was just listening to what everyone was saying, you know, like just gobbling up all the information, and then the credits and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I can step back and think of it having an arc and focusing on character development and stuff. But like, I just wanted to hear that story. Number 5, Freaky Friday the 13th. If you had to live in the body of one of your favorite movie monsters for a week, who would you choose and why? Big twist. While you were them, they were you.
Movie monster.
So you're gonna have to like drive out to the desert before you make the swap. You don't want like Freddy Krueger waking up in your apartment.
Dude, this is...
You have to strap yourself to a chair.
I really want to be Clayface. Can I be Clayface?
Yeah.
Does that count?
Movie monster.
Damn it. Clayface isn't in any movies. Damn it.
It's not.
Oh, Clayface.
Not really
dude.
in any movies, I don't think, sadly.
Dude, I don't know if I'd want to be an alien because it's like gross, dude. You're all like slimy. You're gonna like eat people. Even the queen, man. I don't want to be the queen alien. You're just like sticking to that husk thing.
Right.
Predator, dude.
Nice.
Good call. Chat helped me out there. Predator. Yep.
I like to think of Huber as the Predator with like the lightning crashing on the building in the skyscraper in LA. Like
Predator.
I like it. And the Predator's you. It's a Huber Predator. Finally, number 9. You are stranded in the cold and find an abandoned but furnished cabin with a single match left in the matchbox. There is a candle, a lantern, and a fireplace. What do you light first?
Lantern.
Incorrect. You light the match. Boom.
Damn it.
Ba-da-ba.
You got me.
We got him. How can I resist that question when I totally would have fallen for myself? The match.
I like those jokes.
Thank you, Morgan Mulholland.
That was a good one.
You should see the other questions, though, man. Unsavory and outlandish, quite frankly. Some clearly brutal stuff. None of those are not softballs. You know, Morgan clearly is like the test. Will he have the balls to ask Huber this? I do not. James Davey. Greetings, Brandon and Huber.
Yo, really quick. really quick. Blues and Bullets.
Yeah, are you
was
in?
Supposed to be 5 episodes, Jones. Uh-oh. 1 episode in 2015, 1 episode in 2016, TBA for the next 3. It's like canceled. It's done.
Oh.
How am I going to commit to an unfinished series? Damn it. All right, that's all.
What a roller coaster we've already been on with that series. James Davey, greetings, Brandon and Huber. I first wanted to extend my gratitude towards Huber as well as condolences. Losing loved ones truly hurts and threatens to diminish enthusiasm for life. I don't want to make the showcase grim, but in September last year, I lost my brindle Scottish Terrier to liver failure. One day we discovered a lump that grew quickly, and the next day she was put to sleep. I screamed in grief. I tried going for a walk to try and offset the grief, but spent the whole walk broken down and crying uncontrollably out in public to the degree that a man stopped his car and asked me what was wrong. Some of us may not feel emotionally connected to pets, which is their disposition, but every time an animal I love dies, it feels like a part of me has died too. But what gets us through is companionship to those around us. Our friends, family, even people on the internet can be sources of healing. Basically what I'm saying is we're all here for the allies when you're down. We may just be a fan base, but many of us really do care about you a lot. You're an amazing bunch of people, and I don't need to have met you to know that. I understand that Huber loves Life is Strange, but I personally feel that the humor of the characters is too cheesy at times, and this doesn't seem... How you like that? You see, you can't be mad at this guy because he lost his terrier, so now he's going to criticize Life is Strange. You're like, well, I'm stuck. But I personally feel that the humor of the characters is too cheesy at times, and this doesn't seem to have been improved, and tell me why. And the latter is made worse, for me personally, because the characters speak like cocksure young university students rather than human beings with concerns. I know I'm waiting for this to land. I know the humor welcomingly offsets the deepest moments, but it feels samey. At least I can say that the emotional moments weigh heavier in Don't Nod games than the often laughable moments in David Cage directed and Quantic Dream developed games. I find myself chuckling when I should be contending with deep feelings of sympathy and empathy. I have to say that we're just moving on to Mafia 3. See, I thought he was going to be like,
Life is Strange 2, man. The humor's so much better.
Now Huber loves these games, and I'm supporting Huber for that. You know, we're talking about the Huber
I know,
support,
that's where I thought this
and then
was going.
Just kind of shifted straight into the, you know, and he said, I want to make the showcase grim. Those tell me why comments were more grim, I think. It's brutal. But I have to say that I found Mafia 3 to be a pretty decent time, and I wasn't dismayed by the glitches. Got to say, it's rather underrated. It's just the thing about you. I'm not going to play Mafia 3, at least this year. I might play it next year, but like, it's the thing about Mafia 3, man. When you would describe it, you'd be like, the characters, the story's really good, and the vibes, you know, and like the lead is so good, and the world is it's different, and like, you know, and I've always wanted to go to New Orleans, and so like we planned a vacation in the pandemic. We'd be in New Orleans this summer, but you know, it's like not happening, and you're just like, yeah, they just make you run around and do dumb stuff. And I just think about myself, and it's like, I would probably have no problem with that.
It's just
what?
so...
There's 4 more newspapers I got to pick up in this district?
There's 2 main problems. The first one is the shit you do, Jones, is the same from the very first district to the very end. There's no progression with the objective. At least in Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs and GTA, you're doing different shit. Not the case with Mafia 3, and
don't think it would affect me that much.
And with that series, like that's its whole identity is just ripped away, man. Mafia was a linear game in an open world, and they stripped its identity. Like we have 100,000 open world checklist games. We got hundreds. We don't need another one. Stick to your identity, Mafia.
No. It's wrong. It's wrong. I agree. There's having played 1 and 2, I feel bad for 3 thinking that they needed to do those things. Playing something like 1 and 2 that is just so like, I'm gonna glue your face to the story and you cannot tear it away. There's nothing you can do. And I'm like, this rules. I don't want GTA to change. I don't want Red Dead to change. You know, I don't want these other things that are, or you know, Horizon or Watch Dogs, or you know, I want them all to be their own identity. It was just like, Mafia sweet. Not to go on like a Mafia binge, but
dude, I'm on a Mafia binge, man. I finished the review for 1 and immediately finished 2.
And I'm cutting that, baby. I got your script.
Dude, I'm gonna revisit 3 now because I'm in the Mafia fever. I'm doing it.
Nice.
Revisit 3. I'll get back to you, Jones.
I mean, I own it. You know, I could download 3 right now. I own it on Xbox because we got the series. That was fun. Knowing I owned Mafia Definitive Edition and it was just coming. That was a good feeling. Yeah. This year, I was just like, sitting on that. It's out. I can download it now. I'm aware Huber gave it a 2.5 stars, but my estimation, Mafia 3, is a swimming in a 7. Mafia Definitive Edition has proven to be a really good time, and I wish more games would adopt the condensed chapter-based structure because I think video game stories are better told in this format than an open world where distractions are plentiful. I do admit though, the chapter 4, there is a noir sense that works. Like those two things fit, whereas if you were to tell Borderlands in a chapter, I don't think that would work as well.
Stars are weird, so 2.5 stars. Maybe I would have given it a 5.5 or a 6 if we had been doing numbers, and that was at the time when that game was buggy as hell. I think I have some bugs in the review if you watch it. That game launched rough, lost progress, glitchy. So I'm sure now it's a lot better.
What games would Huber consider that swim in 6s? I mean, games he gave a 6, probably. I don't know if any jump out at you. In the spirit of Halloween, can't go without the Attitude Era Gangrels entrance theme or the Right to Censor theme to keep trick-or-treaters at bay. Lastly, I recommend Huber and other allies try out Going Under, Internships or Heck, a roguelike that gives players accessibility options that they can enjoy the experience. That sense of humor it has is also refreshing. It looks like fun. I've seen it. It's very, very colorful. You can whack monsters with computer keyboards and pokers. Could be worth checking out. Thanks once again for everything you do. James
Resident Evil 6
taking us all over the place.
Is a 6 for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. It's a 6. I hate it. I don't like that game, but at the same time, it's it's got its moments. It's Resident Evil. So I'll give it a 6.
It's funny. I give Avengers a 7, man, and I stand by that 7 because I played that game last night. I'm still playing that game. I love it. I'm having a lot of fun with that. But it's like Days Gone. I think I gave Days Gone a 7 as well, where it's like, no. It's I know others will be very mad at this game, but I had fun. Damn it. This game. You're just so passionate. I wasn't passionate about Crackdown. I played Crackdown 3. I was like, ugh. Yeah. Some games, that moment, it makes you love it. It's hard to. Isn't
that funny, Jones?
To push those feelings aside.
A 6, you are just it's a 6, or it's a 6. It's so funny with games like that.
They did it. Some weird game. It's like we're not reviewing Among Us. What would I give Among Us? What do you score that game? I don't know. I'd score that game kind of really high. It doesn't have a lot of features. It's just a good idea. It's weird.
Really.
Small Leviathan. Hello, Jones and Huber. Oh, that's right. We had 2 posts from Small Leviathan because his post did not make the last month's showcase. We got a comment and a video from Small Leviathan.
Nice.
Small Leviathan. Hello, Jones and Huber. Today, I want to talk about one game that I played over the last weekend and finished for the first time in just a couple of hours before I wrote this message. Spiritfarer, which I have not touched. I'm going to use some language that will sound hyperbolic, so I want to start by saying that this game has some issues. I played it on the Switch and experienced a ton of bugs, including 4 crashes across my 30-ish hours of play. I also think the game has some pacing problems toward the end, with there still being a good 20% of the game left by pretty much by the time pretty much every major storyline was wrapping up and you're given access to the ending. That said, Spiritfarer is one of the most beautiful, thought-provoking, and transformative games I've played in my entire life. It skyrocketed into my list of favorite games, and I'm strongly considering giving it the number 1 spot. At the core of Spiritfarer lies an inherent conflict. It's a management game about building and expanding not just your ship, but also your community as you travel the seas of the spirit world, gathering resources and picking up passengers. But you do it all for the sake of letting your new friends move on, at which point they are gone forever. These aren't just nameless nobodies you're trying to ferry to the other side either. These are unique individuals with their own stories, internal lives, and tastes, and they are only heightened by their fantastic character designs, like Bruce and Mickey, 2 ex-gangster brothers taking the shape of a hummingbird and an ox, respectively, or Summer, a nice hippie lady whose soul takes the form of a giant snake in an overcoat who loops her body through the sleeves to use it as arms while performing various tasks. Getting to know these characters is a joy, which makes it all the more painful when the time comes to say goodbye. A lesser game would crumble under its own weight with a subject matter like this, but the quiet dignity and emotional intelligence with which Spiritfarer is written makes it truly special. I cried every time I took someone on their final journey, and running around my boat doing tasks, I could feel their absence aching in my chest. The first time I went on land to shop for supplies, only to reach the shop and realize that 2 of the friends who'd always follow me to buy supplies on their own weren't there. My heart sank to the floor. That's a great example. I didn't think about that. It is a testament to the skill of the team at Thunder Lotus, then, that the game is warm and feel good as it is, despite all the times it broke my heart. Despite a game being about death, Spiritfarer is just as much a game about life. And it's easily my favorite game of 2020 and maybe of all time. I just need to let it simmer more before I make that decision. To quote the theologian and philosopher Alan Watts, just as manure fertilizes the plants and so on, so the contemplation of death and the acceptance of death is very highly generative of creative life. Love and respect, Small Leviathan.
Nice. It's like number 1 on my queue.
Yeah, it's up there.
I just haven't had time.
Bummer to hear that about the Switch version, because that's such a perfect, great Switch game. What a great game to play for just like 20 minutes before you go to bed.
Totally.
Yeah, bummer. I hope they pick that stuff up. Man, there are 2 types of people in this world, Huber. People who know what their favorite game of all time is, and people who don't care. It's so fascinating when that question comes up. Like, I'll be on a podcast or something, and someone's just like, "Oh, I don't know," and I'm like, "Yeah, you don't know?
You don't know your favorite game?" Resident Evil 2,
GoldenEye 007. You know, it's like there's just some game. That was the game. That was the game that I just played more than any other game.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much you could play one game. That wasn't online, you know. I had not been exposed to that yet.
100% I'll play through Spiritfarer by the end of 2020.
But I love that. I love that Small Leviathan's like, is it my favorite game? I'll give it more time, and then I'll revisit it. You know, you're gonna wake up like 5 days from now. Today's the day. You know, to finally make the decision. I love. For some people, it's that important. Alexander Zurianov. Hello, Brandon and Huber. Recently, Easy Allies forum community voted for the best games of the decade. The decade, Huber, and we'll get there. We'll get to that list. But this is Alexander Zurianov's top 20. Here we go. Specifically just for Zurianov. Zurianov's got some fun tastes. You'll like number 1 though. Number 20, The Last of Us. Should be number 7. Recently, I played it with a broken controller, and I thought it was the game's fault. Great story and characters, but the game feels old. So he was affected, but he admits it. Number 19, The Witness, a rare puzzle game in which you need to learn a new language, and it's done excellently. This is fun because some of these games you're like, yeah, that was this decade. 18, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Nice. Amazing visuals and cloth simulation. Quickly forgot the story and characters, but I liked them while I was playing it. 17, Borderlands 3. Actually, yeah. Honesty, nothing but honesty from Zurianov. Borderlands 3, number 17. Excellent shooter, funny jokes, unexpectedly emotional connection to several characters. Number 16, Dragon Age Inquisition, which I just started. Nice. Great world, cast, choices, and music, but requires side quest grinding.
Ooh.
Number 15, Metro Exodus. Exploring the home environment felt awesome, and ray tracing made darkness truly scary. Number 14, Forza Horizon 4. Best racing game, and it has Battle Royale. I believe Alexander sent us a clip one time for Showcase or something that was really fun to watch. Number 13, Persona 5. Great storytelling, music, art, design, menus, and some characters. Also, the society problems it talks about felt surprisingly familiar. Number 12, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. At first, I didn't like hearing voices and tried to shut them out. Then I embraced them, and it made me feel more powerful. Amazing transition. Number 11, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. Shout out to Ben. Nice. The story kept surprising me even after I finished the game and was just thinking about it. Number 10, Horizon Zero Dawn. Emotional story, engaging combat, amazing visuals. Quests and activities could be better, which is my number 1 thing to see how they improve all the side quests. Didn't care about any of them. Not one. There was like not one person I went to go do something for on the side. I was just give me the XP, give me the skill points, give it to me.
I remember so many people being pissed, Jones. They were trying to like when we were like, yeah, side quest. I remember everyone defending that one other character. Do you remember? He had like the red. He was like a warrior. Do you remember this guy?
Yeah, kind of.
The warrior dude, but then he like changes side. Oh my gosh, silly. So silly.
There's just so many.
So silly.
There's just the hour. You just talk to people and they'd be like, okay, I have a mission for you to go on. And you were like, I can't. The thing that's you have a thing over here. It's just a little. Did everybody have to make a thing out of stuff? Nobody was like, I'm gonna put a cloth. I want to put this blue stuff in your nose. Like, I'm good. I'm just gonna wear a hat. Okay. Excited for that sequel though. Yeah. Still love that game. Number 9, Detroit Become Human. So many emotions during the first playthrough. Stunning visuals, numerous story branches. Number 8, Mass Effect 3. Within the decade. Original ending is one of the most powerful video game finales I've ever experienced.
Wow, you don't hear that very often.
Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 2 made the list. Yes. Technical masterpiece, great environment, nice songs, but everything else wasn't memorable. I'll take it. Number 6, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Memorable story, characters, and gameplay, amazing exploration and quests, but animation isn't good enough for 2020. Well, it did come out in 2020, so there.
Yeah.
Number 5, although I got Witcher 3 and Red Dead 2, I'm happy. Number 5, Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. I started the game with intent to quit after 5 minutes, but I finished it and immediately started the second playthrough. Mysteries and payoffs are amazing, and I'm still referencing some philosophical ideas from it. Number 4, Outer Wilds. Art design, game design, physics, music, polish, all top tier, and the core idea is unique and excellent. This is how indie games should be done, if only it had VO. The game did take a very, very, very long time to be developed. So, number 3, Control. Ray tracing, destructibility, projections, loading. It's a technological trailblazer for the industry, depending on what console you're playing it on, and it's a very fun game with a great lead character. Number 2, Divinity Original Sin 2. Like one of the most searing spots in my backlog, dude. I'll probably never play it. Have an idea? Yes, the game allows that. But despite being a creative sandbox, this game has many powerful story and character moments. Never played anything like it. And number 1, that I considered, certainly looking back in this decade, one of the black holes. This is just me saying this, Jones. One of like the black holes where I was just like, I'll play this game a little. Like I could not stop playing this if I wanted to.
I haven't heard Bloodborne.
No Bloodborne on this list.
Why is Bloodborne not on this list?
Number 1, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Nice.
I've enjoyed every moment of my 158-hour journey and stopped only because I ran out of content. Last month, I started my second 100% playthrough, finished yesterday, and it's still great. I've played better and more impactful games, but all of them lose their charm after so many hours. Assassin's Creed Odyssey doesn't. For me, it's timeless. That's why it's my number 1.
Sick. I can see really not liking that game, but
yeah,
it's freaking awesome. That's a really good game.
When I was done with it, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And we like got into GOTYs, and it's like, would you consider this GOTY material? I'm like, it's not. But what, man, I just played a lot of that game. Yeah. Like, I felt like I was at a buffet, and they're like, Jones, the mashed potatoes, man, stop. And I was like, I can't, and so like when that first DLC came out, you were like, dude, so this new DLC, and I was like, I can't. It was like, dude, mashed potatoes. I'm like, get them away from me. I can't. I'm so glad I didn't touch Odyssey at all. I haven't even booted the game up.
Dude, with all the DLCs too, it's hundreds of hours.
Especially Valhalla, like around the corner. Like,
God.
But at the same time, if that was my only game,
yeah,
if that was like my big game of that year or decade.
I just love Cassandra so much. She's one of my favorite characters.
Great character. Very easy to get into her head.
Mm-hmm.
Parasite Paladin. Hello. I've been having trouble enjoying things recently, but one thing that has stuck with me is professional wrestling. I started watching WWE about 2002, 2003. It was an entertaining soap opera of aggression that appealed to me. Like most things, it's had its ups and downs. And as time went on, WWE was seeming to have more downs and ups. Plus, the crappiness of the company was always nagging in my mind. At some point, I started hearing about stuff outside of WWE, but I never really bothered to care about WWE's smothering amount of content, since at a point, they started a third show, NXT. But mid-2018, WWE was just not cutting it. I had heard in a different... I'd heard in a different company there was a match that happened that might be considered one of the greatest of all time. So I decided to watch it.
AEW?
That match was in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay. Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega. What was your offering though? Just out of curiosity.
I thought they were going to talk about AEW.
Oh.
But they're doing New Japan. Nice.
A match that lasted almost an hour. It was slow building at the start and explosive at the end. What they call the fighting spirit really shined through, and it got me hooked. So mid-2018, I signed up for their streaming service, New Japan World, watched their show starting in January of that year, and caught myself up. It is my favorite company with my favorite wrestler, Okada. A few of the English wrestlers in the company started a web series or have a web series called Being the Elite on YouTube. It is very popular, and you can even say their popularity outgrew their company. In September of 2018, they put on a wrestling show in America, and it was the first non-WWE show to sell 10,000 tickets in a very long time. At some point, those English wrestlers talked with a very healthy wrestling fan, like an NFL team owner very wealthy wrestling fan like an NFL team owner wealthy. And in 2019, those English wrestlers with a web series left New Japan and joined forces with their wealthy friend to start a new American-based company called All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling is good and is much better than WWE. I watch it and enjoy it every week. Between AEW and NJPW, wrestling outside of WWE is just lovely. So I decided to start watching Impact Wrestling. With its current management, it's a fun little show that is easy to enjoy. During lockdown, I even started watching NWA Power, a free weekly show on YouTube. With its small studio and old school vibes, it has its own unique fun. Recently, I finally managed to fully drop WWE Raw, and in its place, I picked up watching the all-female Stardom. I figured starting to watch them after their return from lockdown would be perfect. Every person in Stardom is so endearing and earned it is very hard to not just love them all. WWE may be an untouchable monolith, but the other opinions out there the other options out there are truly fulfilling and enjoyable to no end. Wow.
Yeah, I fell off WWE a few years ago. I haven't watched wrestling in years now. My friend though, Grumbum, you've heard of him, chat. Grumbum, good old Grumbum, weekly sends me clips of Jim Ross on AEW because he knows I love Jim Ross so much. He sends me clips of Jim Ross on AEW weekly. He's like, "Why are you not watching this? Why are you not watching this? Watch this." He tries to get me to watch it every week. I'm going to tell him about this exact entry on Showcase. He's going to be so pumped.
Nice.
He'd be like, "Watch it, dude."
Bless those friends that just try and try and try. You're like, I can't. My buddy I wrote the Final Fantasy retrospective with, he's just like, just watch The Shield, man. Just watch it. And I'm like, I will. One of these days, I'll get through. It's like everybody says The Wire. Gotta watch The Shield. Okay.
Sick.
Watching Agents of Shield. Brendan K. Gann. I haven't gamed much this month, as the only thing I did play was the final story DLC for Borderlands 3 called Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. It's completely serviceable in more Borderlands, though I did appreciate the focus being on the titular character, who is introduced as an add-on player in Borderlands 2, giving more backstory here than anything done in the previous entry. Although September was an awesome time for gaming news, particularly with the PS5 Showcase stream. The stream was fine, but the bookends of Final Fantasy XVI and God of War Ragnarok had me giddy. The fact Ragnarok, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, and Horizon Forbidden West are tentatively slated for 2021 gives me vibes of Switch's 2017 and locks me in getting the system next year. Side note, pre-ordering is stupid. Not getting it day one does not mean you'll never get one. Though I am bracing for $70 for games being permanent, and on top of all that, Xbox bought ZeniMax. Bethesda Studios are now Xbox first party. What a world.
Crazy.
Switching gears, I want to spend the rest of my comment on the forum's Game of the Decade thread, which we will get through the actual list, which I will not say the outcome, so please stay tuned for Axel's comment a little later on to find out what games finished here and other tidbits. I will say it's been a ton of fun going day by day, seeing each game revealed, and everyone sharing their connections, likes, dislikes, and observations. There were surprises here, there, and everywhere, as stellar games didn't make the list entirely. Games that finished behind their contemporaries in their respective year wound up placing ahead of them on this list, and seeing such a compilation of phenomenal games all collected together really show how great the years 2010 and 2019 were. Oh, years 2010 to 2019 were. I also got a kick out of revisiting the Hall of Fame subforum and seeing my previous comments for most of the games to see if I still held the same opinion or if I'd changed in any way. I will say, however, since only games that made every respective GOTY list on the forums were eligible, having Dishonored 2 be ineligible because it didn't get enough votes back in 2016 will forever be a bummer. I will say that all the time in the threads themselves, I say it all the time in the threads themselves, but to do so publicly here, a massive thank you to everyone who was a part of it and participated, be it voting, commenting, both, or just hopped in to browse. And an extra hearty thank you to Axel for always organizing them from the voting process, revealing the countdown, and the fun stats and info wrap-up post, and the conclusion of it all. At the conclusion of it all. I'm excited for all of us to gather again in a few months to tackle our choices for GOTY 2020.
Nice.
Then hopefully getting started on more GOTY lists of the previous decade a little while after. Hope to see you there. Man, we got some games to finish before GOTY. Whew.
Yeah.
Hades, out of nowhere.
Hades,
dude. God, I gotta play Hades now?
Hades. Hades. So addicting. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's a dangerous word for me to hear.
It's a dangerous game, dude.
I can get addicted to games.
Missed the podcast because of that game.
Caesar There you go. Caesar Villa. Hello, Huber and Jones. September was just as unusual a month as August was. I stayed out of the backlog again and played whatever. You may remember from last year, but probably not, that I wanted to play Resident Evil 0 last October, and I have to say, I enjoyed it a lot. Not just the train part, as you suggested I should, Huber, but the whole thing. I recognize that the inventory system is a pain in the ass, and the game is a pain in the ass butt. And the game could benefit immensely by having a couple more spaces to store stuff, but in the end, I cannot deny I had a lot of fun playing it. This could be a case of my ignorance playing on my favor. I jumped from the SNES and Game Boy to a DS and Wii, so I'm oblivious to most of the franchise's history. The first one I played was 4 on the Wii, and how can I deny its greatness? That was followed by the Chronicles Light Gun pair, and then the remake of the first game again on the Wii. I've never played any form of 2, 3, Code Veronica, or any of the other good ones, so 0 being so similar to the remake of the first one felt just like home. That was last year. This September, I continued with the Castlevania collection on the PS4 and just noticed there's no platinum on this game. It has a bunch of trophies that have a very low obtained percentage. Seriously, there's just one for playing the 8 games in the collection, and even that one is under 15%. But still, I'd like to get them all. Right now, I'm working on Castlevania 3 on the NES, and that one is way more annoying than I remembered it. Yeah, that game's tough. I also beat both Game Boy games, and it was so pleasantly surprised by the second one. It's a good game, regardless of the console limitations. It has some very cool ideas that I don't think have been replicated on other Castlevania games, and a killer soundtrack. I would call that one the underdog of the franchise. Moving collections, I finally moved from the SNES Mega Man X trilogy and started the 4th, and to be honest, I'm not enjoying it much. The animated cutscenes are really cool, but the gameplay feels lacking. It doesn't feel like a Mega Man X game to me, but I will stomach it and beat it anyway. See if it changes my mind later. I also started the Mega Man NES collection on the Switch. I could go on talking about it, but the word counter is getting close to 500, so I'll save that one for next month and end it right here. I hope you have a very spooky but safe October allies. Estamos en contact. Caesar.
Best generation of video games of all time. Don't at me. We just talked about all these games of the generation, but 2, the ease at which we can revisit classics this generation, talking about Resident Evil 0, Mega Man, Castlevania. We have the entire history of video games in the palm of our hands, Jones.
Yep.
10 out of 10, best generation. Easily.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Easily, no
question. You have things
question.
like the PS3, which you could play there was built in playing older games, but there definitely has been that's definitely one of my favorite trends of this entire gen is this reselling of franchises, even humongous franchises like Zelda and Mario. They're I just, have done really well, but just have not interested in me. And it felt like this gen's I gotta play the Zelda game. Are you kidding me? These franchises are doing really well. And finally playing games like Yakuza, finally playing some, hovering over that button for Fire Emblem, almost buying it. As close as I've ever come. All right, it's time. Here we go. Axel, greetings, Sir Jones and Sir Huber. As announced before, the EZA forums have voted for their game of the decade 2010 to 2019. The caveat was that the only eligible games were the top 25 games from each of our individual GOTY votes. 50 people voted, 222 games received at least one vote, and here's the result. All right. These are 50 games from the last decade, so I'm not going to...
Can you read one more time? The rules?
The only eligible games were the top 25 games from each of our individual GOTY votes. So they did previous years.
Got it.
And picked their top 25 games, and then only those games could be considered for Game of the Decade.
Okay.
So this is the Easy Allies forums game of the decade. Not only obviously voted on by the Easy Allies in the forums, but built upon the GOTYs.
So 50 people brought 25 games each.
50 people voted. 222 games received at least a vote. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
There's the list. Number 50, Rocket League. 49, Xenoblade Chronicles. 48, Life is Strange. It made it.
Nice. Number 1, nice.
47, Journey. Nice. 46, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. 45, Cuphead. 44, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Number 43, Monster Hunter World. Number 42, Control. Number 41, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
41, hey, it made the list.
It made the list. Number 40, The Witness. Number 39, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Number 38, the original Red Dead Redemption. You think Control. It's just What game's better than Control? Oh, okay, touche. Number 37, Death Stranding. Number 36, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Nice.
Number 35, Return of the Obra Dinn. A game that is also in my backlog. Something that October vibes from that. I should just buckle up and play it. Number 34, Doom. I love that it's in all caps. I love just anytime there's a list like this. Doom. It just stands out.
Doom.
Number 33, Final Fantasy 15.
Nice.
15. Edging out Sekiro and Tropical Freeze and such.
Love that game.
Number 32, Dark Souls 3. Number 31, Mario Kart 8. All those sales. they came from somewhere. Number 30, What Remains of Edith Finch. Beating out Doom. Beating out Obra Dinn. It's interesting. Number 29, Civilization 5. Nice to see Civ getting some nods. Number 28, Portal 2, which Portal 2 I have not finished, but has been described to me by some people as their favorite game of all time.
I can
People
see
really,
it.
really, really like Portal 2.
Yeah.
27, Fallout New Vegas. Could be getting a remake. Could be getting a sequel. Number 26, Inside. Hell
Dude,
yeah.
God, I love that game so much.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Number
I love that
25,
game.
Outer Wilds. Number 24, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, beating Red Dead. You know how I feel about that.
Phantom Pain. There has been the last couple of days I've been seeing some Phantom Pain love.
Yeah.
It's making a turn. It's
just looking back at the gen. Like,
Yep.
I played the hell out of it, and I didn't play 3 or 4 or 2. Like, could not stop playing 5. Loved it. Number 23, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Getting the respect it deserves. Number 22, Undertale, of course. Number 21, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 20, here we go.
Top 20.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn better than Galaxy 2? What's going on here?
Number 19,
on?
Batman
Pause.
Arkham City.
Pause.
Batman Arkham City.
God. All right.
Arkham City, baby.
Okay.
Number 18, Red Dead 2. At least it made it into the top 20. I'm happy. It's fine. Number 17, Nier Automata. Right on. Number 16, Resident Evil 2.
Remake, obviously, yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah,
Last decade.
Decade, exactly.
Beating out Arkham City.
Dude.
Beating out both Red Deads.
Sick.
Dude.
One of the best survival horror games of all time.
Pretty good.
No question.
Number 15, Yakuza 0.
Yes.
Number 14, which I respect tremendously and would probably... it's a fighter for top 20. Shovel Knight. Hell yeah.
Shovel Knight.
When you really look
Shovel
back
Knight.
at like the deck, yeah.
Yes.
I
agree.
Number 13, Grand Theft Auto 5. Woo!
Nice.
Woo, 13.
Hell yeah.
And
Gotta
with
be
this-
in the top 20.
With this, honestly, with this crew, I wouldn't have bet on it. Number 12, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Really want it to be in that top 10, but I get it. It's fine. There's one in this top 10 you're going to be way excited. I would swap the two, just personally, with that Witcher 3. I think that Witcher 3 is pretty exceptional. Number 11, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
Respect. That's
Almost
some respect.
making into the top 10. Here we go.
Yo, if people
Top
are
10
pissed about Uncharted, that multiplayer and survival mode really, like, the single player itself is already freaking amazing, and then you add these multiplayer modes on there, co-op and PvP.
Ooh.
Game is amazing. What a
Ben
package.
Fitter in chat. Wonder where Hollow Knight's going to be. I don't think Hollow Knight made the top 25. Meaning, I don't think it might not have qualified. No Hollow Knight on this list. I would, yeah. There's only one in this top 10. This top 10 is just, this is the top 10, I think. There's only one game I'm surprised. I would have swapped with Witcher 3. Number 10, Mass Effect 2. Come on. One of the best, clearly. Best for the gen. Number 9, Skyrim, which I will fight to the death for. I know a lot of people mock Skyrim. I love Skyrim. I think that game's incredible. Incredible.
Sure.
The game's amazing. I totally would put that in the top 10. But
Sure.
that's just me. Number 8, Super Mario Odyssey. Hell yeah. Number 7, Marvel Spider-Man, dude.
Hell yeah. I was going to ask about where is Spider-Man's
that's
on
what
this
I would have
list.
swapped for Witcher. I love Spider-Man, but Witcher definitely takes that game out back and beats the crap out of it. But, so Witcher, where I was at emotionally and you know, satiated wise in terms
I will
of
say
gaming when I was done with Witcher 3 compared to Spider-Man.
Jones, I will say
Different
this has been a
places,
this has been a shitty year. A lot of down feelings. Spider-Man's a happy game, man. It's an easy breezy happy game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun to play.
Number 6, Persona 5. You know, all these, especially these last 6 are just like, please, honestly, who cares what order we put these last 6 games in? These are the games. These are the 6 games. I also saw somebody bringing up something that wasn't mentioned. Divinity Original Sin 2, not on the list. Persona 5, number 6. Dark Souls, number 5. God of War, number 4.
Number 4. Okay.
Last of Us, number 3. Bloodborne, number 2.
Number 2? What the hell is number 1?
Come on. What game have we talked about of the gen? Come on, man. Sold more games than the console it launched on, dude. More people.
Breath of the Wild,
Breath of the Wild,
Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild.
People couldn't get a Switch.
Breath of the Wild.
But they walked out of that, Best Buy with the Breath of the Wild anyway. They were like, I need this. I know. It's all I know is I need this.
Can you give me the top 4 again? I think
God
this is going to
War,
be my syndrome.
Last of Us, Bloodborne, and Breath of the Wild.
Yep. Excellent. Excellent.
Last of Us Part 2, not even.
Excellent.
Not even in the top 50.
Stay tuned.
It's all about that first Last of Us. It's tough. It's tough for me because I got it. I tell you, man, when I finished Last of Us Part 2, I was like, get away. Everyone, this world, all these characters, leave me alone. Where it's like when I finished Last of Us, I was like, I have to play this right now. I have to play this again immediately. It was just not what Last of Us Part 2 is about. Last of Us Part 2 is like, we're going to run you through the ringer. Ugh. But, those are all exceptional games. God of War.
Hollow Knight.
Get out of
No Hollow Knight hurts.
And to wrap up, Axel, thank you for getting all of this for including all 50 games and fitting your notes into the word limit, Axel. I really appreciate it. I didn't include the points for each due to the word limit, but I'll say that the top 12 was way above the rest. Clearly the elite of the decade. So starting with Witcher 3 on down. The winner Breath of the Wild.
Sorry, can you give me the top
12.
4 one more time, Jones?
God of War.
In order.
Number 4, God of War. Number 3, The Last of Us. Number 2, Bloodborne. And number 1, Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then the top 12. Can we do the top 12?
Sure. So, these 12 just blew everything else out of the water. Witcher 3, Uncharted 4, Mass Effect 2, Skyrim, Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, Marvel Spider-Man, which, again, surprised to see that beat all that stuff. Persona 5, number 6. Number 5, Dark Souls. Number 4, God of War. Number 3, Last of Us. Number 2, Bloodborne. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Such good video games. My goodness.
My goodness.
Great games.
The winner, Breath of the Wild, received 9 number 1 votes, almost a fifth of the voters. 2017 was easily the most represented year, with 23 games out of 25 receiving a vote. 9 games on the top 25, 3 in the top 12, and the actual winner. 2012, however, was arguably the worst, with only 1 game in the top 50, Journey, the 47th. Nintendo was the best publisher with 9 games in the top 50, followed by Sony with 8. Sony beats out Nintendo in the top 12, though, 5-2. Ubisoft, Microsoft, and Blizzard got 0 games in the top 50. No Overwatch, no
WoW. Oh, no, WoW sold. I know, 10 years seems like so long.
I know.
That's so long.
Super Mario Maker and Titanfall 2 barely missed out with the same points as our 50 Rocket League, so they deserve a shout out. Finally, some notable games that received no votes: Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, nice, he thought about you, Heber. DMC Devil May Cry, The Wolf Among Us, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Street Fighter V, Mass Effect Andromeda, Days Gone, Astral Chain, and The Outer Worlds. I don't know, dude. I say you ditch all of those from any conversation in the last decade. Street Fighter V, maybe, would be one that but like,
sure.
Dude, I love Shadow of Mordor.
Sure. Yeah. Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Assassin's Creed
Look how
Syndicate,
prevalent. Look how prevalent the Nemesis system has been on this gen. Remember when that blew up?
Yep.
And everyone made one of those? Tyler Gardner. Huber and Jones actually missed last month's showcase. Whoops. With college starting back up, things have gotten hectic. Plus, I'm working on a local campaign now. I'm so excited to be employed this fall in the field, doing a mishmash of basically every aspect of a campaign: voter contact, Excel sheets, voter registration information, absentee information, and graphic design. Social media are now all within my wheelhouse. Though a lot of my free time is no longer free, it's a great thing to be a part of. As far as some brief gaming media comments go, I recently watched Black Panther through Far From Home. That may be the strongest stretch of Marvel movies of them all. Captain Marvel is still my favorite of the bunch, and Endgame I liked on the whole a lot more on a rewatch. In theaters, I wasn't really sold, like 50% in. In my limited gaming time, he just threw the MCU at us. Can we just... Man. I'm so buried in. Disney Plus is so grateful. I'll just watch like a scene. I'll literally just be like, you know what I want to watch?
I can't do that, Jones. I can't do that.
You know what I want to watch? I mean, I usually tack on like 10 minutes after. But it's just like, and then it makes it really stand out. Age of Ultron, it's just there's so many problems with that movie, but that party is so good.
Love
you know, just all of them talking, all of them later when they're all trying to lift it, you know, and like Black Widow.
Ultron is so scary and menacing too.
That's not a question I need an answer to. All of them recognizing Ultron's a threat when he walks into the room, and all of them kind of looking at each other like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, like they just got a victory, you know, like they just won, like they're done. They're like, oh, we're finished. We have no threats on the horizon. It's like, nope. So good. Anyway, distractions. We stop there. In my limited gaming time, I'm actually replaying Dragon Age Inquisition, a second nod on the showcase. It's one of my favorite games ever, but it's been 4 years since I played. I'm loving it just as much, and I think it's a game people have been overly harsh on in recent years. It still has perhaps my favorite contemporary RPG dialogue system, with choices outlined more by the emotion or topic that option will come across with, or with the knowledge of, rather than being a simple good or bad option. I've also managed to snag a PS5 pre-order.
Nice.
Disc version, always a fan of physical. Thanks, Walmart. Onward to October, a month I don't love because of my absolute scaredy cat nature and inability to handle horror of any kind. Ha 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 ha. My equally frightened roommate and I will continue our tradition of playing a horror game on Halloween night. However, we've done Amnesia 2 years back and SCP last year. SCP.
SCP?
Any
yeah,
Rex
what's
for this
SCP?
Year? What's SCP, yo? Silent Hill. Wait, no.
Yo, SCP.
I gotta know. I can't move on with my life.
Yo, you got the SCP?
SCP is pretty huge. Secure, contain, protect. Special containment procedure.
Was Silent Hill confirmed?
Silent Hill confirmed? No. Nobody knows what SCP is. Okay,
SCP.
We'll get it. You know me. The game is called SCP. Oh, okay, cool. Look it up. Yeah, you look it up, Huber.
Never heard of it.
And lastly, to everyone, I'm sure you've been told to vote a million times, so instead I'll do a slightly different thing. Make sure that you check that your registration is all accurate. Some states will randomly take people off lists, or addresses will change and invalidate you if it has not been updated. Vote 411 is a great website to check your registration status. Love and respect, Tyler at TMGM528. Thank you, Tyler. I'm voting like today. I think I got my ballot finally. I'm going to fill that sucker out. Send it in.
Yeah.
Joseph Caruso, recently on a episode of Frame Trap, Ian was talking about having to hide on an island from some aggressive players in Sea of Thieves, and I suddenly imagined how much more intense that scenario would be if the players had to factor in proximity chat and stay quiet and not talk to their teammates so as not to alert the enemy to their position. This thought then led to a sudden realization that features like enemy proximity chat are probably quite rare nowadays in video games due to more quality of life and accessibility options being available than ever. For example, in Splinter Cell Chaos Theories, the 2v2 Spies vs. Mercs multiplayer mode, each team had devices that let you temporarily listen in on the other team's voice chat if they tripped the device. Dude, that mode ruled. That's probably my number one reason for wanting to bring Splinter Cells back is, that was so great. Yep. It reminded me of the Arkham Origins multiplayer. It's just coming out of the shadows and just grabbing a guy, you know? Seeing visibly the other player get scared that his friend was gone was like... It was like Among Us, you know, just that you know, you committed a crime. You're just waiting for it to be discovered. In that game, communication, planning, and hiding were very crucial to success, all of which could be undermined if the enemy was listening in. Also, shout out to Ghost Recon Warfighter, because it was great going on like a mission that would take 40 minutes, and you'd be like 28 minutes in, and I'd be like, okay. I'm like, all right, Brent, I'm going to go snipe that guy in the corner. Brent? Like, damn, you know, like he's dead, you know, like, oh no, he's gone. You don't really play that kind of stuff anymore.
Sick.
In that game, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. In that game, communication, planning, and hiding were very crucial to success. You could also briefly say something to an enemy before snapping their neck. To be honest, though, in my dozens of hours of playtime, I only ever remembered listening in on the enemy once, and I was so disappointed to discover that they were just talking about some party and not the game. Still, the idea was cool, but with more options than ever for teammates to communicate outside of the in-game voice chat, such a feature could be pointless nowadays. While I love the increase in options and accessibility in video games, which are certainly more important than these outlier examples of manipulating the systems that all players are guaranteed to be using, I sometimes wonder what we are potentially ignoring by making multiplayer games more open to other systems like Discord, or having closed captions or colorblind options, etc. Again, I'm not lamenting having more accessibility options, options, especially in single-player games. In general, the more personal options, the better, and I'll never understand those who believe otherwise. I remember how livid so many people were when it was revealed that an upcoming Call of Duty game would allow players to play the campaign chapters in any order they wanted. How does an option like that hurt anyone? Options are, by definition, optional. Maybe someone already played the first chapter at a friend's house and then got the game themselves and they just want to skip directly to chapter 2. Maybe one chapter is too annoying for them. Who knows? All we know is that their choices have no effect on you, so get over it. I hope the Demon's Souls remake has some form of easy mode, mainly to watch the unironic Get Good community lose their minds at the thought of a less skilled player having a fun time. If you consider yourself a super serious gamer and you're afraid you won't be able to resist an optional easy mode, maybe you should get good at willpower.
Love it. Seriously, why not?
Yeah.
Just put a god mode in there. Like, it's not a big deal. Just disable the trophies.
Yeah.
Throw a god mode option in there. You're invincible. Like, it doesn't seem that hard. It's not going to compromise the game in any way.
100%.
Like,
it's
not a big deal.
I think the sound stuff that Joseph's talking about also, I think it would be like the indie scene that'll really get into that. I don't see like a big franchise like Splinter Cell messing with like who can talk at what point. Yeah. But yeah, I do remember when you would sneak out and you knew you had a kill, you know, you could be like, gotcha, you know, messed up, man.
You know what? I can't think of an example right now, but I know there's games where if you play on higher difficulties, you get additional boss fights and true endings and stuff. Soul should just do that. Have a beginner mode where you're borderline invincible, but just lock them out of maybe like one boss fight or like an additional cutscene or something. Because then you're letting a lot of new people play, getting everyone involved. And then also you're rewarding players for playing it on a higher difficulty. Everyone wins.
Stephen Beaumont. Hey, Jones and Huber. I forgot to submit last month, but luckily the games I have to talk about line up with the month we find ourselves in. Last month, for our game club, we played Little Nightmares, and whilst I had a lot of issues with the controls and the diorama positioned camera, the discussions I got to have with my friends was amazing. This month, we had 3 continents present for our discussions, having people from the UK, US, and Australia on our Discord call to discuss and disseminate this strange and spooky game. All of the discussions I have with the club make me appreciate games more, but none more so than with Little Nightmares. When someone explained one of the secrets found in the DLC, my jaw dropped. This is a grim game, let me tell you. And now that's a great sell. And now for the October Game Club game, we had a tight race running between Moons of Madness, A Wolf Among Us, Symphony of the Night, and Resident Evil Remake. Symphony of the Night took an early lead, but with the most votes we have ever received in our game club, we are playing Resident Evil. I am so excited to talk about this game in a couple weeks. I just took a nap at Lisa's when I last played. Took a nap at Lisa's. When I was like reading this earlier, I was like, nap at what? Oh, you saved. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess you took a nap. Sure, all right. Have a great Halloween, allies, love and respect. Can you actually imagine them in that situation, just like taking a nap?
No.
In that house?
Nope.
Locking the door, like, hopefully that sticks.
Nice.
But they do, man. Rebecca helps you, and like Chris like wakes up later, like, whoa, what? What'd I miss?
Yeah.
Tegan Combati with our last comment. Gentlemen, you were right. Marvel's Avengers is the superhero game we've been waiting for. Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, maybe. Holy shit.
Ching. I will defend Avengers. Dude, I have been playing. I'm here to talk about Avengers. Get ready for Jones to talk about Avengers a lot. Excuse me. Because I think Tegan and I are on the same page. Some of my favorite console and arcade games as a kid were team-themed, superhero beat-em-ups. Joyful memories come to mind when I think of games like Captain America and the Avengers, Spider-Man the arcade game, The Punisher and Nick Fury, and of course, X-Men the arcade game. Those games were far from perfect. In fact, at times, they were downright frustrating and unfair, but their gameplay and themes made them very fun to play, especially with friends. Ultimately, that is exactly what Marvel's The Avengers is. A callback to an age where the game design was simple, maybe even repetitive, but the repeated execution was so very enjoyable. To put it plainly, Marvel's Avengers is a wonderful mess, like falling down a flight of stairs, landing on your feet, and then proudly walking it off. That's like, dude, that's straight out of Metacritic, man. That is like the sentence that you see next to every score. Falling down a flight of stairs, landing on your feet, and then proudly walking it off. I just simply adore it. Like most people, I enjoyed the campaign well enough, but honestly, I was always looking forward to the multiplayer aspect the most. Being a super heroic Marvel character in a group is the game's main draw. Marvel Avengers is clearly a modern-day superhero brawler set forth on a huge scale, with solid character depth for each hero, coupled with a variety of nuances for tactical and strategic execution inside its core gameplay. The basic gameplay archetype was what makes Avengers really fun to play. While using the Marvel comic mythos as a backdrop, the game easily allows the potential for people to live out that bold superhero team-up fantasy to its fullest. Even now, when currently accompanied by repetitive level design, generic mission structure, and a lack of distinct enemy variety, Marvel's Avengers' core focus does not change: having fun in a team-themed setting. Not surprisingly, being a games as a service, annoying microtransactions and new bugs may pop up from time to time. However, these qualms are either negligible or only temporary to the player. Totally depends on the bugs you get. That was my experience, but I'm not going to make a statement. They're like, yeah, Avengers works. It's like, it does not for a lot of people. I still have 4. Dude, this is the tiniest glitch. This is the most inconsequential bug of all time, but it's still in my freaking game, and it drives me crazy. Is that only on Cap, because I think Cap like ate the bug while I had it, because I think I got the bug when I was primarily playing as Cap. Now I moved on to like other characters, and Cap still has it. His cosmetics will have the yellow exclamation point. It's like, oh, new cosmetic, and like he doesn't. And I'll go into Cap's screen, and it used to be 3, now it's 4. Different costumes will just be tagged new. That's it. It just got the little exclamation point. Hey, new costume. And it's like, that's not a new. And I hate that. Anytime I get some new audio log, I got to go in and say, no, flag it. I've got it. Okay. Yeah. I've listened to that one. I'm done. That's stuff. The quest. Oh, you haven't done this quest yet. It's like, stop it. My campaign says 99%. No idea why. Whenever I go back into the campaign, it's like, you're almost done. I'm like, I'm super, super done. There's nothing else.
I wonder if it's collectibles.
Yeah.
I was confused about that too.
Yeah, some comic book I haven't found somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
In the ongoing future, I believe Square Enix will greatly update Avengers. I would replace I think with hope for my statement. I hope they do. I could see Square Enix being like, no, that didn't go as we planned. All for free, mind you, while continuing with securing the game's technical foundation and adding all new gameplay content along the way. Hello, X-Men! Over time, Marvel's Avengers will be fantastic, especially when we start playing on PlayStation 5 as the game's definitive platform experience. With more heroes, missions, and consistent improvements, straight up selling the game on PS5 right now, Tegan Combati. Yeah. Definitive. I think, and consistent improvements on the way. I think there's a lot to look forward to for both the multiplayer and single-player aspects of the game. Clearly, Marvel's Avengers is not a stellar single-player experience like Spider-Man or Arkham, but that's okay because it's not trying to be that. It's not supposed to be perfect. This is not the point of being part of a team. No one is solely perfect because despite our individual faults, when we are all for one, do we shine brightest as heroes and as friends, standing stronger together against any reckless malice. Still a 7. But I do want to say this about what this game is, what it's trying to do, and why I love it so much. And this is like, I'm gonna open this with a statement. All of you are gonna roll your eyes. Get them ready. Get your eyes wet so you can roll them really, really well. I like that Marvel Avengers game is boring, and I think being a superhero is boring. Let me just put that out there. Being Superman is probably really boring. Being Batman, super boring, dude. Can you imagine being Batman? Can you imagine going out, and this has got to happen in Batman's life, and nothing happens? Can you imagine being out all night, being like up on a rooftop, nothing happens? But like, that's such a big part of being Batman is that he's there. Is that like, it's like, oh, we did it. And then we just, okay, time to escape. And Batman's like, I've been on that roof for 4 hours, just waiting to catch you in the act so you can do it. But I'm badass and I'm Batman. And like, that's why we love the character. But like in a game, like that wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, you imagine like the Avengers actually deciding, like same with the Justice League, where they're like, okay, let's be the Justice League. Let's actually not just bump into each other every now and then and help each other when we feel like it. Let's organize as a group. Let's call it something. Let's call ourselves the Avengers. Let's hang out on the helicarrier. And then when Nick Fury or Maria Hill or anybody or Hank Pym, when they want to send us on adventures, we'll go help. Like all of those aren't going to be these like gripping, critical, character defining, history making missions. A lot of them are probably dull and probably really boring. Like that's what I'm missing in the Arkham games. It's like, I just want to beat up a guy. I just literally want to stop a guy.
I just want to beat up a guy.
I just want to scare the hell out of somebody. Like I don't want it's always a thug who's not afraid of me every time. It's like, So like, I like this Avengers as a job game. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I love this idea of just like, oh, here we go. Just going on another daily. It's just like, yeah, I'm the Avenger and That's why we're great. That's why saving the world is not going to be this like roller coaster thrill ride the whole time. It's going to suck. It's going to be boring. It's going to be tough. And I know a lot of people are like, wow, you are going out on a limb to defend this game. But as a Batman fan, this is the Batman game I was waiting for forever. Like whenever I would hit credits on a Batman game, I'd be like, well, that was neat, but can I still be Batman? Like, no, it's over. Like, oh, okay. The Arkham games are the only one to kind of scratch that, where it's like you can still go out in the world, but you're just picking up breadcrumbs of the story that you've already finished. You know, it's like, give me some Shadow of Mordor. Give me something where the world's like living in some way. And like, yeah, going back to that burning forest for the 500th time is not the most exciting way to do that. But, you know, I initially, before this game came out, was like, yes, finally, we're getting this. And it's multiplayer, you know, like, but no way, no how. No way, no how would I score that game higher than a 7. No
enjoy
way.
it. You enjoy it. You enjoy it.
Bruce Wayne on a coffee date, dude. We got that was so great about the Telltale. Oh
yes,
having these scenes with Catwoman where I was just like, I don't say anything, just stare at her like you did. So good, so good, so good, so good. All right, things are gonna look a little weird because we are getting into drawings. So now I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share computer sound with that as well, so Huber can hear all these things.
Cool.
And now Huber's watching my screen.
Yeah.
But now, oh geez, no, you don't want that. Get that out of there.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Yay, we're back. Then we copy that. Come on now. There we go. Yay. Now we are here, and we are here to look at drawings, but I'm going to add us to all the other pages too. Talk amongst yourselves, chat.
Talk amongst yourselves, chat.
As we disappear and appear again. My keyboard's doing like a, you need to type this 4 times thing with everything, where it's like, did you copy that? Are you pasting it? Like, I am. Keyboard, stop. And it's not because it's low on batteries. I thought might be the solution. All right. I wish I could set all of this stuff up beforehand, but we got to do this every time. All right.
Cool. Drawings.
Kicking off with Nick Gothic.
Nice.
Who was not the first person to give us a drawing, but that's just how it shook down this month. Hello, Brandon. Hello, Huber. It's time for me to talk about the Ingrid's maneuver, and I've decided to devote occasional episodes to each of my main characters. The main character is Jeremy Arthurs, born in Liverpool in a wealthy family, and he moved to study law in London with goals of becoming a solicitor, a type of lawyer in the UK that's more tasked with mundane paperwork duties at the office. Oh, there's the other thing, too. This is just me, Jones, adding this, that this guy's also Huber, okay? Come on now. Jeremy has a cool demeanor, but is impulsive and honestly a little oafish and clumsy. In spite of that, Jeremy has an amazing talent for analysis and deductive reasoning, and is a natural for finding legal loopholes, though mostly to exploit them for his own benefit. You ever seen what was it? Get Carter? You ever seen the original Get Carter?
Of course.
And there was another movie he was in that was like something they remade later on that I just saw recently that he's very good in. Slow burn, man. Those old Michael Caine movies.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I just can't place it right now.
Last time Huber was there, a lot of allies in the chat. No, Huber's blurry because it's just the quality of the showcase. Sorry, the quality of the image of me bringing it in. He's very, very tiny on my computer right now because we're going full screen, so he can see all this stuff. Last time Huber was here, a lot of the allies in chat were comparing the main character of Jeremy to him, which is funny, but it isn't true. Jeremy's primary inspirations for me were those blonde British bad boys from the 1960s, actors like Michael Caine, David Hemmings. David Hemmings is a name I'm not familiar with. Malcolm McDowell, but with a tiny hint of John Lennon.
Sick.
Yeah. Jeremy's got a real scouse mentality and wit, but moving to London, he was so embarrassed by his northern upbringing, he'd speak with a cockney and pretend he was a lifelong Londoner. Jeremy is a mod. He drives scooters, gets into fights with rockers, and is an expert billiard player who's good at using a pool cue as an improvised weapon, but being a mod represents something deeper for Jeremy. He's a breed of a new generation, a sophisticated young man who gets with the times and lives in the city. He hates the close-minded conservatism of his parents and instead opens his eyes to the world, wearing Italian fashion and listening to jazz and soul music from America, living a life of fast and loose relationships, and endlessly curious about new science and technology. He wants to be the living embodiment of everything the old folks hate. So it's a little ironic he views the Beatles as fakers and poses. I think it's high time to give it to EZA's most elusive ally. So there you go. That's, thank you, Nick, for that. Oh, sorry. I think there's more. Man. XSplit just updated. And it's not everything's great. I literally can't uncollect. There it is.
There it is.
I think it's high time to give a nod to EZA's most elusive ally, the gunslinger, love machine, bloody Shakespearean poet, and now proud pappy by the name of Don Casanova. Nope, sorry, that's not Don. Wait, that's more of him. Where did Don go? Oh no, where did this image, there's this badass image of Don.
No.
Oh, it's down here at the bottom. Haha.
Nice.
But there's another picture of that character if you would like it. There he is. Don has a string of failures which I can constantly pity. He always puts niche games at the Hall of Greats he knows will never win, and is the only guy who lost in the fun game of Hunt Down the Huber. But damn if there isn't such a pathos and chin-up attitude to him. I recreated one of his discount gaming episodes where he's lounging on one of his favorite pinball machines while down there's little old me panicking and looking for my lost quarters. It's a shame Don isn't in these community showcases, but please give my massive props to him. Love and respect, Nick Gothic at Clown Boss, all one word.
Sick.
Beautiful. Not making the thumbnail though, Nick. Sorry. Scott A. Ford. Hey, Brandon and Huber. Last month I finished my new Breath of the Wild inspired illustration just in time for the showcase. Let's boot it up, Scott.
Game of the generation.
Yeah.
Game of the decade.
This month I worked on a nighttime recolor of the same piece. You can see it alongside the original daytime colors here. So this is the...
So good.
The OG
Holy
color.
shit.
Love doing that. Love when we get two different versions or multiple versions of something and just go back. But like, that's it at nighttime.
Jeez.
And I love the Ganon coming up out of the castle.
The color reminds me of Dragon Quest. The visuals remind me of Breath of the Wild. So cool. Holy crap.
Yeah, I could just watch that.
Yeah.
Just kind of want to like...
Want like one of those nightlight
game,
painting type things, you know what I mean? Like have that as a nightlight.
You, me, and Hubs, man. I legit, honestly, just hang out. Like right when I'm done playing Avengers, every time I just go back to the helicarrier and just walk around a little bit. I just love it. Makes me happy. Something else I worked on the past month was a lighting study. I just really wanted to try colored light filtering from different colored fabrics. Most of this illustration was actually rendered in a 3D program before adding additional lighting effects and details. Yeah, there's lots of light going on in that one. And number 3, I added as a cat as a final touch because
HDR enabled.
Yeah, added the cat because why not?
Nice.
Lastly, I've also been working steadily on a sci-fi comic project. Which I'm honored to receive an arts grant to fund the production. These last images are some digital sketches and style tests, and using mostly 3D models with 2D effects and rendering. So yeah, if any allies want to check it out, they can go to scottafordart.com. That's SCOTTA Ford, F-O-R-D, art, A-R-T, scottafordart.com, or find it on Instagram and Twitter by searching Scott A. Ford. Thank you for all you do and giving me this opportunity to share my work with the community. Love, respect, Scott, or S_001 in chat. Let's check out some more screens. Yeah.
Sick.
Look at that guy.
That's a cool character.
Yeah, make that guy dreams. Get him in there.
Nice. I like that cape, or the yellow on the coat.
Yeah, and we got robots like that little dude. That's we can pull off tech like that today. Look at that little guy. Very cool, Scott. Thank you. Serenite. Happy October, Huber and Jones. Hope you are doing well. Drawtober is in full swing, and even though I've already posted a couple of prompts already on Twitter, you'll just have to wait to see what I've made next month when I put them all together in a video. Until then, I thought I'd do something as a little fun. As a bit of promotion for my webcomic and it being October, I thought I'd dress up my main cast in fun Halloween costumes. I was very nervous when I got these images because I grabbed the images first, and I was like, am I supposed to know who these people are? Are these references to stuff that I'm not familiar with? And I'm like, oh, no, they're Sarah. Oh, okay. They're Sarah Knight's characters. And boom. Love it. So here's Sophie as Wonder Woman. This is, Rick as a mad scientist. Andrea as a witch. Where did Andrea go? She moved down here for some reason. There's Andrea as a witch. Or Andrea. And Mark as a vampire. And I think Mark might make the showcase. I think that might be our thumb for the showcase, because that's fun. Come on, for an October.
That's really good.
For an October thumb, that's super fun.
Get that on a box of cereal.
And Todd is get that on a box of cereal. And Todd is an astronaut. Also fun to really focus on the characters before, so fun to get to know them. Also, as a bonus, here's a little preview for what I have in store. There's all of them chilling. I don't think Todd's in that photo, but
cozy,
hanging out. Very cozy.
Where's Griff?
Side note, thank you so much for coming up at the patron party. It's happening on the same week as my birthday. There was a sentiment I saw on Twitter. A lot of people are like, yay, I can celebrate my birthday that week. And after the year that I've been having, where I've been struggling with anxiety from the crisis, my dad getting hospitalized, he's doing a lot better now, by the way, and feeling like my artwork is not up to snub compared to what other people are doing, the party is the very thing I need to remember how amazing this community is, that it has gotten me out of a dark hole before, and it will most certainly do it again. Thank you so much, Easy Allies and chat. Hope everyone is staying safe out there. Wear a mask and wash your hands. Black Lives Matter. And please, if you're an American and haven't already, register to vote. It's not too late. Register at nerdsvote.com and let your voice be heard. Much love and respect. Sarah Imshog, Sarah Knight.
All right, thank you, sir.
Amanda and I have done stuff with Nerds Vote. Shout out to Nerds Vote. Yes, and we are done. Yes, with the art. Correct. Chum Nguyen. Hi, Huber and Jones finally moved, and these last few days have been tiresome. Dude, I am 2 days away from beginning the move. Gulp. It has taken up all my free time, and I still have some unpacking to do and other stuff, but it's nice to have a place without a bad tap water. Excuse me. Taking a break from energy drinks, and results were instant. Been rough at work since my consciousness has been fading at times, but I endure it because I need to do something to turn my life for the better. Some drawings I did before I moved, decided to change the style a bit and use less color to make it look lighter in tone. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I can see it. Doodly-doo.
Love the glove.
Reimagined my over 2-decade-old swords for Sword Timber, which can also be seen from my Twitter page. Sword Timber, Huber. I did not get an invitation to Sword Timber. But I love just the specific focus.
Cool blades.
Yeah, man.
Those are sweet.
Paper was also too big for a scanner, but phone cameras are good now anyways. It was fun, and I'm still lazy to use a ruler, which I should have used in these. My collection. Boom.
Dang.
Yeah, after the move.
So clean.
Yep.
That is a
like
clean setup.
It's like the Animal Crossing wallpaper. It was and my Nendroid collection, which makes a cool banner. Even Mega Man has had enough. That is all love and respect to Turju Indy.
It's awesome.
Here's the Nendroids.
Yeah, Mega
Man's
so good.
Over it. It's a rough move, Mega Man.
Chris Redfield hanging around. That's sweet.
Popping out of the ceiling. That's awesome. Yeah.
Those are really good. I like figures like that. So sweet.
Boop. Thank you, sir. All right. Our only screenshots coming from Asbo Zapruder, who has dropped by every single month to give us an update on the lore going on in Animal Crossing in this world. A lot of stuff going on this island. You ready?
Okay.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I hope you're both doing well. September was typically a busy month on the island of Poppleton, and this year was no exception. It all began when I visited Zucker at his new home, the old mansion on the hill. He was bragging that he was able to haggle Nook down to the price of just 20,000 bells. A few days later, however, a terrified Zucker asked me to return to the house. The words, "I am waiting for you," had appeared in icy lettering on his bathroom mirror. He decided to call in a psychic for help. She did a lot of silly voices, thrashing about, until she suddenly stopped and said, "Where the fire and the water meet, there you will find him. I thought the whole thing was a waste of time, but then the next day, Zucker showed me the recording.
Love the timestamp.
I can't. Oh boy.
Paranormal Activity or something.
It's a good bit. Yeah, I know. I'm in the mood, man. I'm in the mood. Oh, that Bly Manor is like days away. The resemblance of the mysterious figure to our friend Merengue was unmistakable, so we showed her the recording. She told us it looked like her great-great-grandmother, Pavlova, an unhappy woman forced to marry for money. According to family legend, she sat silently next to the fireplace all day, every day, until she died. Mm-hmm. Zucker and I had the same thought when we returned to his home. The fireplace must have something to do with the ghost's riddle. Dun dun dun. After some poking around, a secret passage opened, which we followed until we reached a pile of rocks. Beneath them, we found a skeleton clutching a love letter from Pavlova, begging him to rescue her. He had made it just a few feet from the other tunnel entrance, the well outside. Merengue arranged for him to be buried next to Pavlova. They could finally be together. And as I walked home from the cemetery, I reflected on how wonderful it was knowing that all of Poppleton's ghosts are finally at rest. Anyway, that was September. I'm sure October will be much calmer. Until then, Asbos Zapruder, a.k.a. Screaming Argonaut.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
I know.
Yo, when's a Netflix
and
show?
I think I'm invested in Animal Crossing, you know? I played that game thinking, wow, I'm really involved in this game. No. Megan Linhart. You want October? You want it to get real. So we spooky stuff. We can tell spooky stories all we want. Bam.
Whoa.
Megan Linhart. Howdy, gentlemen. So I was planning on doing a Goofy movie review, but due to time constraints on my end, it kind of got away from me. So instead, I thought I'd just continue from last month and throw in some photos of Spike, my pet snake. Over the last 5 months, I've had him. He's gotten quite big. The first photo will be when I got him. And end on how he is now. Just look at the last photo today. So to show you how much he's grown. Next month, I'll go all out with Goofy. Don't worry. Have a great rest of your day, Jones, Huber, and chat. Well, I will try because blah, blah.
Is that
spooky,
Cowboy
man.
Bebop Spike or Buffy Spike?
Yeah, snakes. Oof. Just the way he's kind of making his way with her hand. You know, he's like, just nothing you can do. I'm going to go wherever I want to on your hand. Ugh. He's a charmer. It's a good-looking snake for sure,
Yeah.
but ooh, that's the stuff.
Do snakes ever tie themselves in knots?
Yeah, I wonder. Intentionally. And there's the photo from today. There's the big boy.
Cool.
All right. Moving on. Elliot Key. Hey, allies, I love you guys and everything you do. I don't know about you, but carving pumpkins is one of my favorite October things to do. I'm so happy that somebody carved some pumpkins, took pictures, and sent them to us. I've included all the pictures I could find of carvings I've done in the past in the linked tweet below. Do you have any good suggestions for 2020? Thanks. And as always, love and respect. Ellie, a.k.a. Hydro Shutterbug.
Good suggestions for pumpkin carving?
For pumpkins, yeah.
Dude, I'm terrible.
Kazuma.
I usually just do the classic, like triangle eyes and nose, and
look at your boy.
Yeah, I do simple. Dude, how the hell?
Yeah, it really came
so
out.
Good.
I love pumpkins too because sometimes you can't tell what it is right away. Like when I first put up this image, I was like, "Oh, that's neat." Oh, there he is.
That is so good.
There he is, breathing fire, baby. And these, I gotta admit, I don't know. Are these?
Dude, Krillin on the left? Is that Krillin?
This is Toriyama. This is Toriyama, right?
Yeah, it's Krillin from Dragon Ball on the left, and on the right, I don't know what the right one is. What do we got on the right, chat?
And then Kirby, love him.
Snoopy, got it. It was Snoopy.
Oh, he's on the house.
Snoopy on
Snoopy
the pumpkin.
on a jack-o'-lantern. Okay,
That's
nice.
Cool.
Nailed it.
Cool.
Yeah, Kazuma would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
And also, just do your own bat signal, not the bat signal. Do your own.
Ooh.
Do a little style.
Do Majima too. That'd be hard. The eye patch.
Yeah, Majima for sure.
I bet that'd be tough.
And trying to get things legitimate spooky here, Mr. Tokyo Slim. Well, hi. I didn't start out intending for this month's submission to be spooky, but it's been very foggy here in the mornings lately, and it's kind of put me in a mood. So I've decided to roll with it. Here's a selection of cursed, haunted, spooky locations around Seattle. The first 4 images are from a very haunted area, Pikes Place Market. Did not know Pikes Place is haunted. Been to Pikes Place many times, being one of the oldest continuously running public markets in the United States. It's full of history.
What city is this?
This is Seattle.
Oh, and that all makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Pikes Place coffee. Pikes Place is the flavor. Seattle. Oh, it all makes sense. I'm getting the lore
in this building
here.
just to the right here. There's really great restaurants. I've been to, sat down in a place with Ian there. Went to a place with Bossman there. Being one of the oldest. Okay, and not all of it is laid to rest. Kiki Soblu, the daughter of Chief Self, from which Seattle derived its name, lived in a shack at the spot of the current market. Princess Angeline, as the settlers grew to call her, refused the 1855 treaty that evicted all the tribes of the Duwamish from the Seattle area and resettled them on a reservation. She died here in her home at the age of 85 after having lived in the spot her whole life. Oh, wait. Okay, so here, I think that's just looking down at Pikes. So I think we haven't gotten to the other images. Maybe it's just all here. This is all the Pikes Place Market. And the thing about the market is the restaurants are only open at specific times. It's a food market, so they got the fish coming in every day through the port. And so in the mornings it's really busy, but like at the evenings before a lot of this stuff like officially shuts down and locks, the stores are closed, but like the market's open. So you walk down these hallways and it's just these long dark hallways and nothing's going on. And so like to know this place is haunted. Damn, I wish I'd known, because I would just walk around there and be like, and it's kind of cold. You got the breeze coming in over the water. So it's just it is unsettling. Her ghost can frequently be seen near the top of the stairs in the second picture, near the weird man lamp. Near the stairs, oh, there you go. The weird man lamp up there. You can see.
That is a weird lamp.
And around the hallways in the 3rd and 4th pics.
Love ghost stories.
Oh yeah, baby. Number 5 and 6, nearby Post Alley. Whoop. Booga. Oops, didn't get that image back. And nearby Post Alley, and I can get
cool
the next
photo.
One. Is also home to several haunted spots, including what many believe to be the most haunted bar in America, Kells. Located in was once a mortuary, home to dozens of different ghosts. There have been many sightings over the years, but the 2 most common are a little girl with long red hair, who most often is sighted by and interacted with by other children, and Charlie, a dapper old gentleman in a derby hat, who most often appears in the mirrors around the bar when live music is playing. Sick. With the open window up top.
It's freaky.
Kells. Good stuff.
Gotta grab a pint at Kells, Jones.
That one look familiar to you? A little bit? Maybe?
Oh, that's Last of Us.
This one, as some of you might recognize from Last of Us 2, the Sorrento Hotel is another of the most haunted places in Seattle. The hotel opened in 1909 and has been known to be haunted by several ghosts, including most prominently the ghost of Alice B. Toklas, credited with the invention of the pot brownie, who lived nearby. I don't know why I find that so funny. It's funny to me. Thank you for your service. Though she apparently died in Paris, and it was unlikely that she ever stayed at the hotel, she has been seen wandering the halls of the hotel, especially around room 408. She's been seen dressed in a shroud and is said to have caused lights to flicker, and likes to move around in the hotel's lounge. Happy Halloween, Jones and Huber and allies.
Happy Halloween.
Wandering around. Is she in that picture? I don't know. Run it through a processor. Whee! Huber, let's go create a ghost hunting show. Let's just do it.
That would be so fun.
Let's do it, man.
Oh my god.
All right. Going back to this screen because we have 2 bits of voiceover. Jesse Blue kicking it off. Hold on a second. Keyboard getting funky with me. October. Hello, Jones, Huber, and chat. Greetings from the Midwest. I hope you are as are all as well as can be expected, and I'm trying to stay that way myself. This week, I'm finally taking the vacation time I was supposed to take back in March. Nice. I was super stoked to hear about the special plans you have at the end of the month. Looking forward to having the schedule of events, as I will have to schedule some late starts that week to make sure I'm well rested. This week, I'm planning to rest and make some spooky pumpkin stuff in Animal Crossing. I'm also haven't checked my town today. I'm looking forward to that. I'm also hoping to work on a couple more projects this week, one of which is the longer version of the clip I have submitted today. It is from an ebook called 25 Ghost Stories by W. Bob Holland and is called Grand Dame's Ghost Story by CD. This ebook is for the use of anyone, anywhere, at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license. I have been using www.projectgutenberg, that's Gutenberg.org, for these audiobook recordings, and they are wonderful. The background music and sound effects are from Epidemic Sound. Recording, voicing, editing, and mixing by yours truly. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat to hear what you think about this reading. Huber, I know haunted stuff is your jam. I miss you all, and I look forward to whenever it is we can finally meet. But until then, I'll keep sending these into the showcase. Enjoy. As always, much love, utmost respect, and lots of hugs. Jesse Blue. Jesse Blue, I'm closing my eyes for this one. I want to get into this. I want to get immersed.
Let's do it.
It was a fearful night. The wind sobbed and wailed around the house, like lost spirits mourning their doom. The rain beat upon the casements, and the trees, writhing in the torture of the fierce blast, groaned and swayed until their tops almost swept the earth. Bright flashes of lightning pierced even through the closed shutters and heavy curtains, and the thunder had a sullen, threatening roar that made your blood creep. It was a night to make one seek to shut out all sound, stir the fire and nestle deep in the armchair before it, and have something cheerful to think or talk about. But I was all alone. It was just such a night that Nancy Black died. What a fearful night for the soul to leave its earthly home. I spoke aloud as, rousing from a train of thought, I drew my heavy mantle closer round me and cuddled down in it. I was in the library and had been looking at the shadows playing on the furniture and shelves. While sitting thus, a queer sensation crept over me. It was not fear, but a feeling as though, if I'd looked up, I'd see something frightful, and a sensation as though someone was breathing icy cold breath upon my forehead. But I am not fearful, nervous, nor imaginative, and resolutely throwing off the dread that fell upon me, I turned round and looked up, and there, so close by my side that my hand, involuntarily thrown out, passed through her seeing form, stood Nancy Black. "In the name of God, Nancy Black, what brought you here?" I exclaimed. A hollow whisper followed.
"Thank you, my old friend, for speaking to me, and oh, how deeply I thank you for thinking of me tonight. I have come to tell you that you must go over to the old house, and in the back room I always kept locked, have the carpet taken up. You will see a plank with a knot hole in it. Remove that, and you will find what caused me to lose my soul. Ah, Jeanette, you thought your old friend pure and innocent. It is a bitter part of my punishment that I must change your thought of me. Farewell. Do not fail me, and pray for us, Jeanette. Pray.
Yeah, baby.
Man, I was just there.
Woo!
That was excellent. So good.
Woo!
Atmospheric.
One of my favorite things about the showcase is when people just jump in. Zendeas just jumps in like, yeah, what's going on right now? what's happening? I hope you like it being weird, because this can stay being weird. RF Switch, greeting Jones and Huber, with everyone loving the last Themis, the Catgirl short story I wrote. I've decided to write one tailor-made for each ally. Huber, I'm sorry, this short story is set about a decade before the events of the first book, centering around a character you enjoyed a lot, Derek von Waffen, which is German for of weapons, as he is a weapon master crafter. The problem is with this part, because of parts of Derek's backstory, his mom dies when Derek is in high school. I did this specifically because I have dealt with death a lot throughout my life. So this story, as well as Derek's backstory, is dedicated to those who has lost a loved one and continue to carry on. That said, here is a story written with great love and respect. RF Switch. And now, a world premiere excerpt from The Deceitful Blade, written and performed by RF Switch.
The young man walked into the kitchen, looking over at his mother, Ellen, who looked exhausted, even though it was only 4 in the afternoon. Her long black hair was starting to thin and fall out from the chemotherapy treatments, and her body was losing mass and color. At that moment, no one would believe that she was a master with a spear, or could forge full-plate armor in a day. Derek's heart sank when he looked at her. Her treatments had taken their toll on her body. He knew it was helping her fight back, but it killed him inside to see the medication rob her of her energy, her health, her life. Derek put it out of his mind, walking into the kitchen, looking over the slow cooker he'd set before going to school. "That smells lovely, by the way," Eleanor said, quietly sitting at the kitchen table. "I didn't see what you had put together, though. What is it?" "I made some soup," the teenager replied. "Your favorite kind, cheddar and broccoli. I'm also going to make some rice and grilled chicken I've had soaking since last night." "Wow, you really thought of everything. I'm impressed," Eleanor said, her voice filled with pride for her son. "Well," Derek said, pulling a pot out and filling it with water, "Dr. Garrett told me what would be better for you for food, and Trevor's abuela and Sam's mom gave me a lot of recipes to work with on that." "And you learned so much," she added. "Not to mention your cooking is so good." Derek faintly smiled hearing that, and responded while turning back to face her. "Well, I did learn from the best."
Huzzah! Such delightful snippets.
Makes me want to just listen to more, you know?
Yeah.
It's like just a taste.
That's what, yeah, it's
like, give me the whole series.
I know, we have, we do get updates. We have updates on several, I mean, dude, this is like my bane with the showcases. So
yeah.
It's wonderful getting a behind the scenes look at a lot of the stuff.
Sick.
So yeah, we get them and get that word count, got that TRT at 3 minutes. Just
awesome.
Just got the next month to look forward to. Shrink us down a little bit, and it's time to rock out. So you got your headphones on, you're ready, Huber. We got 3 pieces of music and then a bunch of videos to get through, and then that is the Easy Allies Community Showcase. So yeah, 'tis music time. Kicking it off with the guitar shredding abilities, and it's Adam Henschel, Kieran Little, and Kevin Gillet. So I mean, just kick back, everybody. It's gonna be a good time. Hey, Huber and Brandon. In my mind, there are only a handful of video game tracks that remain as haunting and as atmospheric as the Tristram Village theme from the original Diablo. This, dude, when I did Curse of Strahd, the D&D campaign, and we had music in the background, Tristram was just like it was like Tristram again, like hell yes, Tristram again. To keep it short, I've made this rendition just a little less subtle. Anyway, thanks for this listen, and I hope you all have a fantastic October, Adam. You know, it's really good for if any of you are doing a D&D campaign and you need soundtracks, games, because if you grab movies, this is going along with the movie, so you'll get random,
swelling,
even Mask of the Phantasm has like a horror moment. There's one part of the Mask of the Phantasm score that's like out of nowhere, just literally just totally calm for like 60 seconds and then just whereas games don't do that as much. Games, if you get a game soundtrack, they'll like pick a mood and then it's that mood for 4 minutes. So if you're doing D&D and you need background music, games.
Some good advice.
Because you generally, the track at the beginning, unless it's like the main theme that's building up to something, if you want to like have a mood and have it stay there. Whereas there's sometimes we've been doing D&D, you listen to music and like something will happen and the guys will look at me and I'm like, sorry. It's like, because I'm playing the music. I'm like, it's the Sweeney Todd soundtrack. Somebody got murdered there. Anyway, moving on. All right. Take it away, Adam. Just that one strum. It's Tristram. Western vibes. smiling at his own stuff. It makes me so happy. Yes.
Way too good.
Yeah.
Way too good. Yo, go A's. Beat those Astros. Get it done.
Did you see the latest sub we just got? Nate Toy, thank you. 49 months. Love you, Huber. Padres are coming for you.
Yeah.
Those Dodgers now. We'll see. Huber is a bigger Dodgers fan than I am, but born blue, baby. Born and raised.
Hell
SoCal.
yeah.
Though my whole life. Never been another team for me. Kieran Little, spooky salutations, Jones and Huber. Much like, if you thought the shredding was over, I was just sadly mistaken. Much like you both, October is my favorite time of year, for I too am a fan of all things macabre. Jones, last month you mentioned my Suikoden entry was Castlevania-esque, and you were right. Super Castlevania 4 may have even been my entry to the morose and macabre. I remember running around that house as a kid with my scarf as my whip, trying to be Simon Belmont. So I'm here to pay tribute to the series.
Dude, yes.
And if you guys know Kieran Little at all, and you're just thinking, Kieran Little, Castlevania?
Let's go.
Just wanted to quickly thank Huber for his constant enthusiasm about our favorite hobby, and for tuning me on to the Dragon Quest XI and Shenmue.
Nice.
Both of which I never would have played, and now love.
Sick.
And respect, Kieran. Yeah, this is just, sorry, I'm just going to be in my happy place for 3 minutes right now.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Dude, the freaking special effects. saying, dude.
Oof.
Dude, Brad and I used to drive around listening to Bloody Tears like on the daily.
Dude, when I finished the Castlevania retrospective for like that last video, I was listening to all these versions of it. I was like, no, that one's good. No. You know, it's like, it's got to be the best, like the absolute most rockin' version.
So sick.
I did, man, and like that was when we had. I was really happy finishing Metal Gear Solid when I did that retro, but we didn't have a graphics team. And so, you know, having that team on the titles for the Castlevania retro with that music, I was just like, oh, this has got to be it. This has got to be the pinnacle of my career. I can't produce content better than this. It's too good. And wrapping up music, Mr. Kevin Gillet. Hello, allies. My entry for this month goes slightly above 3 minutes. So keeping it short here, big Mario mood since 3D All-Stars so naturally decided to mix together Delfino's Plaza's theme with the orchestration of Starship Mario from the noticeably absent Super Mario Galaxy 2. Doing this actually made me realize how Koji Kondo used a very similar structure for both themes, which ended up making the reorchestration pretty straightforward. Also, October! A lot of respect, Kevin Gillet. I'm a bit disappointed to have such happy vibes in the October showcase, but this is so happy. And I'm not as familiar with Galaxy 2, so the marriage of these is interesting. Yeah, having only one game for reference for that, it's like, yeah, isn't that the theme?
So jolly.
You know, clearly. It's a whole different vibe. But I love, Cameron, I love when you mash stuff together, and it takes me about 10 or 15 seconds to get in and be like, I don't understand how these are mashed. Oh, you know, like now I hear either the one song in a different style or really good stuff.
Main Street USA vibes there, Jones.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, kind of Hello Dolly vibes, getting the Wells Fargo wagon vibes. All right, getting into videos, our final category, kicking it off with Chris Park. Hi, Jones and Huber. Genshin Impact is taking up all my time. So I just picked from some random servants from Fate this time. Also, sound is borked for some reason, so sorry about that. So this is a mobile game that Chris is playing that is extremely random, has a ton of characters in it. Servants from Fate. That might be super loud. I might have to adjust this.
これより地獄を開始する。ここに我が宿業を解き放とう。神と人の罰を見るが、これが後輩だ。
Just casually decimating everyone.
I love that some of them have little like October costume pieces. Every one of these is just a white screen and numbers.
Yo, that one's dope.
コンバットオープン第1章第2章第3者による制圧完了さよならブレストゼロエリジェーベット
My bad, my bad.
毒あるものを拭い去り害あるものを打ち砕く失礼アサルトメディスフルバーストパーティー
お手間かでも楽しいダースおふたてしておきめんぺ
Yes.
上がれ上がれ
Whoa, whoa, bridge. Oh no!
よしやるぞ1、2、3キャンディースターフォトンレイ槍こそが我こそがギボルクオールタナティブ
宝具台風東映戦術式目3巻飛んで7泊無産これすなわち火戦争炎上
行け我らアルゴノーツアストラップしてアルゴで俺も
What?
疲れたかいあとはゆっくりいい夢
That
を
might
見
be
る
my
といい
favorite that I've ever seen from this game. That one's really good.
Out of control.
I'd have to learn another language to play that sucker, but I'm so tempted.
The dinosaur one. It's the highlight. It's really good. It's really good.
From Mubarak Al-Khuzai. Hello, Jones and Huber. I'm really grateful that Easy Eye didn't stop in the wake of the pandemic, as it has been a source of comfort against the sudden changes. So, thank you. I am a 23-year-old beginner developer, and I just released my first game, Couch Versus, on Steam last year, and presented it on the Community Showcase of January 2019. I worked on everything for a year by myself, from game design to art and programming. It's a game where one player controls the hero and another player spawns monsters in real time. Imagine Mario Brothers with asymmetric multiplayer. Sadly, I couldn't make a dime off the game, even though the game sold close to 20 copies, because there's a threshold that needs to be crossed before I can make money. Still, I'm happy that I made it. I'm pleased with how my first game turned out to be, and I still plan to continue making games in the future since it's the only thing I truly enjoy in life. I used to wish and imagine that I would make a successful game before I graduated from college. To me, selling 1,000 copies is successful enough to continue making games full time, but I couldn't even make that. Now I'm a few months away from graduating, which means I have to get a job, which also means that the time that I can spend making games shrinks extremely. I wanted to experiment and explore with different methods of play and game design and look at the number of games I can produce in my lifetime. To get cut more than half saddens me, but alas, c'est la vie. This is life. I've now uploaded my game on Itch.io, hoping to find an audience that would appreciate it. You can pay whatever you want for it, even $0, and I'm grateful for any amount of support. I listened to Jones's advice and added music to the trailer. I like it even more now, though the music isn't from the game, so thanks, Brandon, master of trailers. Sorry if my post has been a downer, but I needed a place to express my feelings. Thanks for listening. I wish the best for you and the entire Easy A community. Love and respect. By the way, it was pure luck that my game is about monsters, and this is the October Community Showcase. So I believe this is the revised trailer. Trailer we've already seen,
nice.
But happy to show it again, especially to get more people focused on the game.
Mike and Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good track.
Oh, dude, good ending to the trailer too,
pick.
because a lot of people just let the song like just kind of fade out. Maybe so. Ah, got him. Nice. Thank you, sir.
Sick.
Best of luck. Go check the game out.
I gotta play that with Army.
Super 3D Cow. Hello, Brandon and Mike. I am so excited for Halloween. I streamed October 1st and began playing Halloween songs in preparation, and I thought I would share a difficult one from that night. A lot has happened these past few months, including finding a girlfriend and falling in love in the middle of the pandemic.
Ooh.
Woo!
Congrats.
She was there for this live stream and loves playing the game too. I didn't have the time this month, but next month I will do a progress update on Poppin' Music. For now, enjoy the spookiness. Although I'm just going to be watching your gal the whole time. Just like,
Here we go!
Happy early birthday, thank you.
Are you ready?
Oh, yours birthday is on the 4th? Happy birthday. Ooh, really tough rhythm to get cools on. Double taps. So tricky. New record, but not an A, but a new record.
Holy shit. Every time. Every time.
Barely. Like 300 points.
Every single time I see that, I'm blown away.
Madness.
My-
It's really to track. It's another thing that's like it's the
God.
stuff that's happening is so complex and I don't hear it in the song. So it's like his brain's got to operate on two completely different things.
Jeez.
And I love it.
So
Like
good.
the mood was spooky just for a second. Like I started out and it was like, oh, it's a spooky
Yeah.
song, and then just you know, it's like, doesn't matter
So awesome.
what theme you try to go for. The clacks
Oh, it's good.
will have their say.
It's so good.
Right. From Mo Grant, yo, Jones and Huber, for my showcase submission this month, I'm bringing more Ghost of Tsushima content, but this time in the form of a video entry, my best duel against one of the Straw Hat Ronins. I did all of the duels on lethal difficulty and usually needed a few attempts before I'd win, but I was able to beat this one in a single, almost flawless attempt. So, gentlemen, I present to you Duel Under Falling Water. Love and respect, Mo Grant, Mo_D1212 in Twitch chat. Enjoy.
This was a fun one.
you understand. This is just a job.
So awesome.
Yeah. Oh.
Dude, for the kill shot, too.
Very respectful, sir. Woo. Get those supplies. Nice.
That was cool. That was good.
Thank you for that, Mo.
Seriously,
Happy
too
gaming.
early for that to be on. Oh, it's 2020 though. I'm getting my days all confused, man.
Yeah?
Thinking like games of the decade, you know?
Right. Are you reoriented? Are you ready to continue?
I'm reoriented.
Happy gaming. Hey there, Brandon
makes
and
me
Huber.
wanna-
Over the course of the last month, I've been continuing my work on making reviews. It's been a very time-consuming process. Tell me about it. I still need to get some sound dampening foam to put on my wall because my office area is basically in the kitchen and is pretty echoey. But other than that, beyond some issues with exporting formats from OBS and making video proxies, I've managed to finish one more review and have another one where all the parts are ready for editing. Having a few reviews under my belt, I'm happy with really has helped me understand the importance of subtle things like capturing music in separate files, things like that. I wanted to share my newest review with you both and everyone watching, and as always, would love some honest, constructive criticism. Keep in mind that certain VO parts may sound garbled because of some of the post-deverb processing I did, though. With all that in mind, sorry for the lengthy text post. Really wanted to be respectful for the full text posters. Here's my review of Never Song. Hope you enjoy. Love you all. And would love any feedback that you would like to offer. Brandon, if you wouldn't mind, please cut the video off at 3 minutes. Brian from Happy Gaming. Will do. Happy to cut things off. Happy to do it.
Dreams are such that more often than not, we likely never remember them clearly. Elusive visions and thoughts from our subconscious minds trying to manifest themselves as a sort of glimpse of understanding to our own stressful reality upon waking hours. But dreams are scattered, full of flashes of things that only sort of begin to make sense, surrounded by others comically disconnected and bizarre, like putting together a single puzzle from 3 or 4 different sets. What would it be like to be trapped in our own coma then? To be stuck with the incoherent thoughts you may never know the answers to as you try to piece your own reality back together? Would you even want to wake up when the pieces line up? In the Kickstarter game Never Song, this is what you're tasked with. Originally based on the successful Flash game called Coma, duo developer team Thomas Brush and Eric Coburn intended to remake the game to flesh out its ideas with a more developed story, characters, and a combat system. You play as Pete, a youth who finds himself in a coma after his girlfriend Ren is kidnapped by the shadowy throngs of Dr. Smiles. As you make your way through Pete's town, you'll interact with the other kids and explore the dream world, eventually making your way into different dungeons. At the conclusion of these chaptered areas, Pete will fight different misshapen and corrupt manifestations of the adults from the town. These boss fights win you a piece of a song, which when played, will earn you new items and gear, and will lead Pete closer to the dark truth behind his own coma.
And from the shadows, a face of white snatched poor Ren out of sight.
Brush's art style is certainly distinct, as seen in his work on Flash games of the past, or the team's more recent release, Pinstripe. It carries a spooky, almost Burton-esque quality to it that is both charming and creepy at the same time. Characters all have very hollow eyes, and environments are atmospherically riddled in thick shadow and dark skies. The town, as well as the kids that inhabit it, carry an air of Stephen King's It, embodying both the comfort of youthful nostalgia and childhood bonds, juxtaposed significantly with a sinister, threatening undertone.
Bonds.
All of these elements combine with solid voice work to make situations and characters that can be quite effectively disturbing, while retaining a charming and endearing playfulness.
Look at him hanging up there. Oh, I'm just messing. I captured him because he tried to rip off my shoulder blades. Dead serious, brah brah brah.
While the joys of the town and the atmosphere are excellent to take in, the combat is less satisfying. While it is effectively weighty and punchy to hit things with Pete's bat, the range is quite short, This makes it feel like there's not an effective tactic to battles other than getting up close and wailing on foes, which...
3 minutes.
Oh.
I know.
We're
well, there you
getting
go.
Combat.
What a great trailer for his channel. There you go. Go check out Happy Gaming.
I liked it.
Yeah, great.
A lot.
No notes, baby. Sometimes the cross dissolves can be a little weird. I very rarely do cross dissolves in reviews, just because with HUDs and if you're like cutting between cutscenes and stuff. But like you have so much going on screen, it can kind of be visually a little bit messy. Straight cuts are always.
I think you said "sort of" twice in the opening paragraph. So maybe cut one of those.
I do have one fun little note that's not like you need to do this, but it's just something to consider for people doing reviews and videos and stuff. So this is a review of Neversong, but you mentioned one of the games that they previously made, and you showed 2 other games that they made. And the vibe that I got is when you mentioned the Flash game that Neversong is based on, and you show the character like standing in front of like a projector or something. That's in Neversong. That's like an Easter egg in Neversong. But then later you actually show the games you're talking about. You're like, they made this other game with this art style. They made this other game. It's nice to put just like a little lower third. You can even do it at like 50% opacity, italicized. That's just like footage from this game. So you're like, oh, okay. So like as a review, I'm not thinking like, whoa, where's that window shot? And it's like, well, no, that was from a game that's not this. It's just always nice to tell the viewer like this footage. Sometimes when people start a review, they'll be like, this is the sequel to this game, and actually the writer will message to me as the editor, get a trailer. I want to show the first game at this point. I want people to see what that game looked like, so when they see how good this game looks or what the change they made to the character or whatever, so sometimes you do want to show footage of a game that's not the game you're covering in a review, and it's just always nice to let the viewer know what they're looking at that time.
Jones, I want you to show the original Mafia in the Mafia review.
Sure.
Cool. I'll get you footage.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a big difference from what I have experienced. I think I played Mafia on PS2, and like, yeah, that was not as good as that game could have looked. Michelle Jackson, showing up with what you know, what you want, what you hunger for, in a link that I can hopefully find. Hello, where'd you go? You should be right there. There you are. Boom. Take it away, Michelle Jackson.
Hello, allies. In previous months, I feel that I've done a poor job of communicating what I actually do during a month to work on the game. So this past month, I've logged everything that I've done for the game and how long I've done it for, so that I could break down how long each aspect of game development takes for me per month.
Cool.
Seats.
This is the breakdown of how long I spent on each task during the month. In all, I spent about 68 hours on the game. I would love to spend more time, but right now this is all I can spare. There's an unusually high amount of concept art work. That's because I've been working on cover art concepts this month. Normally it wouldn't be so high, but otherwise it's a pretty standard spread. I'll start by talking about parallax maps. All of the maps in the game are made through parallax mapping, which is essentially that there are clear tiles that make up the actual map, and what you see is like a lower level image. So I draw all those myself. I typically just take a screen cap of the grid that the game uses to communicate where you place events, and then I draw right on top of that in my art software to make sure that everything is placed correctly. Next, I'll talk about concept art. It's probably my favorite thing to work on. Frankly, I find it very relaxing, but it's also very important because it serves as a reference for me so that when I'm making art assets, I can look back at something to make sure it's consistent. Next, I'll talk a bit about dialogue portraits. I make 2 main portrait sets. The first is standard character sets that characters use when they speak, and the second is special dialogue portrait sets, which are only used in a single scene and tend to be more elaborate. To save time, I'll lump programming and formatting into one section. RPG Maker is really particular about how you save files, so making sure that all of my files are named and saved correctly takes a bit of time. In terms of programming, at this point, I'm not adding too many new mechanics each month. I'm mostly fleshing out the game, by which I mean just like adding in scenes, adding in all the text, making sure that everything is running properly. In terms of music, there's not too much I can say. I am only really able to work on music when I feel inspired, and that changes month to month. Right now, I think we're sitting at 72 songs, but I might be off by 1 or 2. That's pretty much all I have time for. So to close, I'll just show some more images of things I worked on this month.
Oh, cool.
Bye.
That was the trip when we first started to see this project. Is I was like, oh, cool, you know, grabbing music from stuff, and she did actually a great job of like labeling the tracks when we were watching some of like the earlier videos of like, this is this track, and I'm like, wait, you wrote this music too? Like this music's also in the game? Yeah, I'm proud of you, chat. I love that chat absolutely will not take any sort of degrading comments whatsoever. It's just like, I was only able to put 68 hours. Chat's like, get out. Are you kidding me?
It's a lot of hours.
You're working on the side? Like,
yeah,
it's incredible, that commitment. And I just love it. You try. You can try to come in this community and pass off your work as not being great, but we will not hear it.
Yeah.
Eric Jackson getting a little spooky again, which is nice. We're back and forth. Cute and spooky is how we're bouncing back and forth, and maybe a little weird. Here's a little something I threw together in the last couple hours before the cutoff. It's a little long, and I'll understand if you cut it short. I will. Happy Halloween. Love and respect.
One evening, when I was in my junior year of high school, my mom and dad went out, leaving me home alone. I had a lot of homework to do, so I spent the whole evening sitting at my desk in my bedroom. My parents left around 6 p.m. While I was doing homework, I put on my headphones and listened to loud music. There was a big storm that night, and my desk was facing the window, so I could see the rain and the lightning outside. My parents got back around 11 p.m. When I saw their car drive up, I took off the headphones. As soon as my mom opened the front door and came inside, I heard her shout my name. "What on earth happened in here?" she demanded in an angry voice. Confused, I ran downstairs. My mom was standing in the hallway with a furious look on her face. She pointed at the floor and yelled, "Was this you?" I looked down and saw that the carpet was covered in muddy footprints. "I have no idea how those got there," I said. "I spent the whole night at my desk doing my homework." I watched as the look on her face changed from anger to confusion and then to fear. We noticed it at the same time. Someone else must have been in the house. We followed the trail of footprints, trying to make sense of the whole situation. They started at the back door, which we usually left unlocked. Then we noticed something else. The footprints started at the back door, but there was no trail of footprints leaving through the back door.
I mean, it's terrible.
All of a sudden, we hear a loud, pounding noise that echoed throughout the house. Then the sound of the front door being wrenched open and slammed shut again. Wham! We all ran into the garage and locked the door behind us. My mom took out her cell phone and called the police. After what seemed like hours, a patrol car arrived with 2 officers. One stayed with us while his partner searched the house, room by room. When they returned, the officer told us that there was no one in the house and was safe to go back in. As we were all breathing a sigh of relief, they asked, "Whose bedroom is upstairs on the left?" My parents looked at me. "It's mine," I told the officer. They asked us to follow them. As we walked throughout the house, we could see the trail of muddy footprints leading from the back door, through the house, into my parents' room, and then towards my room. They stopped at my doorway. The officer pointed at my door, which had been open the whole night. Scrawled on it, in black marker, was the following. 8:47. I see you. 8:53. You forgot to lock the back door. 8:59. You seem focused. 9:24. Turn around. 9:47. Look at me.
Boom.
Look
We're out.
at me!
I don't know, chat. Should I keep going? Do we want to hear?
We're right there.
All right. Okay. You just
Look at me.
Look at me.
10:15. Look at me.
There's no jump scare at the end of this, in case you.
10:37.
Calm yourself.
Look at me. 10:49. Look at me. For more than 2 hours, someone had been standing in my doorway, watching me. To this day, I still shudder to think what would have happened if I had turned around. Happy Halloween.
Whoa!
The VO gave me strong Alan Wake vibes, which I appreciate.
Yeah, Eric does a lot of VO for submission stuff, so it's definitely a voice that I have gives me a fair sense of comfort when I hear it. But what? What? Okay, look, you don't have to tell other people. If you're pulling our leg, man, with that story, just all you gotta do is DM me on Twitter. Nobody will know. You just DM me on Twitter, Eric, and just be like, nah, I made that up. Be like, okay, fine. I won't get you in trouble. I won't say anything on the showcase. But what? That's scary stories to tell in the dark style, man. That is
Blair Witch.
That is Boy Scouts around the campfire story. That is... God. I got walls behind me, and I can see what's going on behind me on camera, and I'm still spooked right now. It's 3:43 in the afternoon. All right, only got a couple more. Here we go. Small Leviathan. For my second post, I want to show off a video I made last week, a project I've been working on in some form or another since the start of the year. My top 25 games of the last decade.
Boom.
A shout out to my friends King and Jelly Elite, who drew and animated the opening graphic, respectively, and to the artist Creo for providing the song used, Place on Fire. Yeah, I could watch hours and hours and hours of just people telling me what their favorite games of the last decade were. Right?
Huge difference.
That F word, favorite.
Yep.
Fair. Let's draw that line, baby. Make those tough calls.
Nuclear Throne, right?
Nice. I always like to see, like, what shot did he pick, you know? Never played it.
Top-down games of sensing a
Stretch
trend.
that DS. Stretch it. Good boss fight. Nice. Hey. Nice. See, that's nice. Please port to PC.
One's gonna be Hades. One shot.
Yep. It has been brought up previously
Nice.
on the showcase. This is the showcase. This is for your weird picks, man. This is where I want them.
Sick.
I want all of you to show up and tell me about your weird picks. I love that. Definitely some interesting narrative-focused games that I'm not familiar with. Love to see that stuff pop up.
Coolest.
Tame Kitty. Hi, Elias. Just started a new job after my game dev sabbatical. Here's a quick look at the result of my time off. A very early prototype I'm calling Stint Wick. Enjoy. P.S. for the curious, code can be found here. That is at GitHub, github.com/carvemichael, CARVEMICHAEL, carvemichael /Stintwick, STINTWICK, Stintwick. GitHub.com/carvemichael /Stintwick. And here's a trailer for you. Take it in.
Whoa.
It's like you're a house in Monopoly and you're blowing up the hotels.
Dude, this looks
take
fun.
that hotel. Those projectiles are fast, man. You gotta dodge those suckers. This kind of looks like that first game on Small Leviathan's List. They're like twin stick shooter. Definitely getting like an Arkanoid aesthetic, which I certainly gravitate towards because that was a very early arcade favorite of mine.
I'm always down for a twin stick shooter.
This menu is wild. It's funny to get like clips of footage because like I want to like click the
you know. It's a lot of press
start. Where do I? Oh, it's a video, right? The worst is people that put up an image of the YouTube play button, like on Twitter, and you click on it, and you're like, you got me. You got me. Justin Green, hello, allies. Last month, I showed off my dialogue system. More game dev. Three or four game devs coming in through the showcase this month. This time, I'm showing off the tutorial and some of the combat. I've also started on the spell system, which is somewhat displayed in the video. It works a lot like Transistor, which we just saw, where you can combine spells together to change the effects. Justin, always good to just remind us because I forgot what the game is called. I would love to give people all the information.
Cool.
Tutorial and some of the combat. Nice. Just something happens to your brain when you look at a screen like that. You just suddenly, oh, okay, what do we got? I've been thinking a lot about impact playing Avengers, Huber. Just a lot about like what are devs really doing to make it like Black Widow feel different from Iron Man, different from Cap when they punch something. That's crazy, you know, like how much the camera shakes, what it sounds like, how much the controller vibrates, and how. So you see this little, every time he attacks, how the camera shakes. And like the science of that is fascinating to me. Just dialing those degrees of shake and displacement to increase impact.
Sekiro, best in the biz.
Like I wonder if you have like devs coming in that have dev friends come over, and they're like, you know what? I love the combat system, but I just feel like the hits need a little more impact. And the developer's like, nah, it's perfect. You know, like you might want that more, but this is exactly where I like it. You know, there's just no right answer.
Oh, Ricochet. No.
Dead in the tutorial.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, looks fun. I like the dash a lot.
Just what a way to end the showcase right
there. Shit.
We got a couple more. Three more, specifically Robert 7 Lee. Hello, Mr. Huber and Mr. Jones. Hope you're both well. A couple months ago, I shared a DMC5 video of beating Virgil. Since then, I've been trying to get through the Bloody Palace. I know Huber likes to talk about high stakes, and although the main story doesn't offer any real stakes, I believe Bloody Palace is all about it. 101 stages of increasingly difficult battles. You can't use any items, and once you're dead, it's back to the start. Most DMC5 players will probably find this a breeze, but I keep messing up with silly errors and nerves keep getting the best of me. At the time of writing, I have died at stage 90 around 6 times now against a boss I've practiced against countless times, but for some reason I keep choking when it comes to the real deal. This is a video of my latest attempt against this boss before the community showcase goes live. I can only hope this is the time I beat him. Even if I do, I'll probably end up dying on stage 91. Also want to thank you allies for being that ray of sunshine in these dark times. Win or lose, this is my favorite boss. Here goes. Thank you, allies. Robert 7 Lee. Gosh, I sure hope he does it, you know? Be a real shame to have recorded the footage, put titles on it, upload it to the showcase, and then bosh this fight, you know?
Yes, getting there. Damn it.
Aww. You think you might have pulled it off?
That was close.
And the play-by-play, the captions are so great. I love it. Better luck next time. Alright. Stage 1.
Back at it.
Accounts payable. Yo, the coziest month with Jones, Huber, and Chad. I'm all in. Love and respect, accounts payable. All in.
go-to reference for huge buff people is Nappa.
He's gotta be the OG. The OG buff man.
No, Nappa's not the OG buff person.
He is the first. He is the standard at which buff people strive to be. I stand by that.
And finally, Sebastian Hall taking us home into the end zone. Hi, Jones and Huber. Hope you are doing fine in these weird October times. I missed the last showcase as life was just incredibly busy, sorry, but now I am back with another Star Citizen video. I put this together with the help of a couple of friends over the span of a weekend. It is all from inside the game, and I thought it's a nice showcase of the universe and how stunning it's looking with some faster clips intertwined. This is mainly just meant as a little test run for a bigger project, hint, hint, but I thought it would be nice thing for the showcase as well. Enjoy. Love and respect. Lotiaz. We get lots of screenshots from this game, but I'm dying to see this baby in motion. Trailer, man.
Cool trailer. Yo, 3080s have got to be helping that game out, right?
Send that, yeah, for sure. Definitely send that off to the community of that game. Get that out there. Get people's eyeballs on that. That's a good way to sell that game. Ladies and gents, that has been the Easy Allies Community Showcase. We had two people submit. They were at that tier. Kitsnu has an uwu for everybody, and Spencer from Canada says, I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night, but didn't actually post anything. So I don't know if you were holding that for a post, but it didn't happen. And I double-checked, because I checked this morning, which I don't usually do for the showcase, but woke up to... Sorry we started an hour late. I was like, oh boy, look at all these fun posts that Patreon decided not to show me last night. But lots of really... We adequately spooked. I think we had some creepy stories. We had some fun... some history stuff, some fun photographs of spooky locations, some rockin' spooky music. Very, very grateful to our community for providing those things, but of course to Michael Huber for joining us, who of course is very fuzzy and very out of focusy right now, but that is just the nature of the Zoom call that we were on, that I am about to wrap up before we finish this stream. And again, this is our $10 tier, patreon.com/easyallies. Actually, I'm going to go do it right now. I'm going to make it live, baby. As of right now, you can go to patreon.com/easyallies, click on Community Showcase, which is one of our tabs at the top. We have tabs of our most searched stuff on the website, and you can go find all of these various showcase posts. And right now, previously, just the people at the $10 tier were available to access this post. Now everybody can. So it's the community showcase post for October 2020. You can go, again, you're not submitting anything because the showcase has happened. But if you liked any of these images, you want to go see them. If you liked any of these, we have some very talented musicians that contribute stuff to the showcase. You can go check out their SoundCloud or their YouTube page. Follow them. Check out all of the other work because they produced quite a lot of it. If you want to see other backlog episodes of Michelle Jackson's game that she's been updating, if you want to see other rants from Jason Sackle, you can check out previous showcases that are available on Patreon. And again, none of this would be here without the support on a Patreon and, of course, the support at the community showcase tier. So thank you, everybody, for submitting for the month of October. Ian Hank will be on that bottom screen in the month of November after being not in the showcase for a very long time because I just completely forgot him on the list there. But we will get him back in the mix. So create your content now for the next showcase if you want that to be viewed by Ian Hank. But this is just, there's a few better ways that I would love to kick off October, most certainly with the man himself, Mr. Michael Huber. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful month.